At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, fam. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Guys, I want to apologize about my absence. I want to apologize. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm here. I am here now. So hit that like button. Make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Got a couple of announcements. Wrong button. We're rolling to Nigeria next week. We're rolling to Nigeria next week for the Oshun Festival. It seems as if I just returned yesterday from Senegal for the Jazz Festival. But yeah, we're rolling in about a little less than a month. We on that flight to Nigeria. But if you want to roll, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's DANFO.Africa. Somebody said, am I recovering from a hangover? What, do I look drunk and high? Do I look drunk and high? I know I got it's coming. Like I said, I'm gonna give this to October. Okay, I'm gonna give this to October. This beard, or whatever you want to call it, I'm gonna give it till October. If it ain't here in October, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna move on. If it's not here in October, I'm just gonna move on. Okay, from the beard project. So I know I might look a little rough with this. Again, I know I might look a little rough with this, but we're gonna give it to October. Okay, we ain't quitting yet. We ain't quitting yet. So we're not quitting. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you for the okay, what's going on here? Well, this don't want to play no more. Let me refresh this. What's going on? There we go. All right, so please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Again, that's oh, you know what? Hold on one second, guys. No, that's not connected. For some reason, I'm getting the circle of death with the videos on the site. Let me get with my web guy. That's weird. In fact, let me text him now while it's on my mind. But visit donfo.africa to learn more about the tour. So we're rolling to all right, I just finished texting him. Yeah, the videos aren't playing. Sorry about that, guys. But visit donfo.africa. We're rolling to we're rolling to Nigeria in August. Then we're rolling to Namibia and South Africa in November, Zanzibar in September, and then Sierra Leone and Sierra Leone in December. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. We will love to have you. Again, we will love to have you. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Folks is upset over the Essence Festival. They said they had a Jollof versus jambalaya cook-off. Interesting. I wonder who. Hold on. Let's see if we can find this on. Let's see if we can find the Jollof versus jambalaya. Oh, hold on. Cook off. Let's see if we can find the footage. Let's see if we can find it on online. Here we go. Essence Festival. Fair use. Fair use. That's who won. I mean, they're pretty much the same. I know. Folks is gonna hate what I'm. Some folks is gonna hate what I'm about to say. Again, I know some folks is gonna hate what I'm gonna say. Jambalaya comes from jollof rice. Again, jambalaya comes from jollof rice. When the slaves hit America, they pretty much changed the name to jambalaya, but it comes from jollof rice.
Yo, what's good, family? Today we're diving into some real talk about the gumbo flavor, that Black American essence. You know what I mean? And leaning hard into a broader diaspora vibe. Now, I'm not trying to go in on Pan Africanism right
Yeah,
now.
but guys, what's the
And
but without you won't without there's no chebujin without jollof rice. Again, there's no chebujin without jollof rice. So you say no, jambalaya comes direct from chebujin. Yeah, that's true, but there's no chebujin without jollof rice. But I want to see the actual cook off. No, I want to see this. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the grassroots reparations now. But yeah, I want to see the actual. If there was an actual cook off. Nah, no, no. They one come. Jambalaya comes from jollof rice. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find the actual cook off. Oh, here's me. This is me, guys. Hold on. Peace. This is Dynasty Demir, and this is my diaspora story. My background is unique. I'm Black American, but I'm also Nigerian and Sierra Leonean. My grandmother, who's from Texas, she would make a dish called jambalaya. My Nigerian and Sierra Leonean family, they make a dish called jollof rice. And what I noticed is that jambalaya is heavily influenced from West African jollof rice. Jambalaya, jollof rice, they're both the same. My name is Dynasty Demir, and that was my diaspora story. So I come up when I look up jambalaya and jollof rice. I come up. But yeah, like I said, jollof originates from jambalaya. But yeah, but all the FBA and ADOS and the Black Americans who are upset about the Essence Festival. I guess my question is, when Essence was for sale, why didn't you guys buy it? Again, why didn't you guys buy Essence? Or if you guys are that upset, approach Richelieu Dennis or whatnot and with a number and say, hey, you're not doing Black American culture right. We want to buy it back. Here's a blank check. There you go. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we complain about everything, but we don't own anything. And then when it's time to say, okay, put your money up and buy it, crickets. And then also, too, you guys are talking about the CEO of Essence, who is a Kenyan immigrant who's married to a white woman. So it's a she, Kenyan immigrant. She is married to a white woman. The majority of ADOS FBA votes Democrat. Joe Biden was very clear that his top two priorities were immigration and the LGBTQ community. That's what Joe Biden said. And then some people will say, well, Kamala Harris is who ended up running. Well, Kamala Harris said herself she would do nothing different from sleepy Joe Biden. So again, the majority of Black Americans vote Democrat. Joe Biden said himself, immigration and the LGBTQ community are his top two priorities. So you guys got a 2-for-1 with the CEO of Essence. So why are you mad? Why are you mad? And again, excuse me, if you're that mad, open your checkbook. Again, if you're that mad, open your checkbook and say, hey, what number do you want? Because the owner of it is a Liberian. The owner of it is a Liberian. So open your checkbook and say, hey, what's the number? We want to take it back over. No, well, what I'm saying is Black Americans, and then there's a specific demographic of Black America that brags about being the 92% when it comes to voting Democrat. And Democratic Party was very clear on what their priorities were. So don't be mad now. But guys, links in the chat room. I'm going to put the link in the chat room if you want to call in. Please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in, please click on the link. And guys, please hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button. Right, that is Haitian culture in New Orleans. Okay, DJ Biggs, what you have to understand is New Orleans was a French colony. It's part of the Louisiana Purchase. That's how America acquired it. All right. At the time, Haiti and Dahomey, which is present day Benin Republic, were colonies of the French. And what I'm telling you, I go to Benin every year. The culture in Benin, in Haiti, is pretty much the same or close to it to the culture that's in New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. Because it was common when slaves would come to America from French colonies, from Dahomey. A lot of them were stopped in Haiti. Then from Haiti, they would come to New Orleans. They would come to Louisiana. And I'm telling you, that culture is very similar. When you dot the I's and cross the T's and connect the lines, or whatever the saying is, it's similar. Again, Dahomey, which is present day Benin Republic, that voodoo culture that you see there is similar in Haiti, is similar in New Orleans. It's what it is. That's just a fact. All right, go ahead, Chrissy.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yes, I just started to get a little understanding of what's going on. I saw a clip or two. Folks are not happy, whichever. I never been to Essence. Always wanted to go. Um, but as far as you know, people who are Black American not being happy, they feel like the culture is being co-opted or whichever. I understand. Um, I understand not being happy because I'm thinking even, when it comes to carnival, a lot of people like when if it's rather the Eastern Parkway or if it's the one in London, Caribbean people don't want to hear hip hop on carnival, and really not even reggae that much. And we understand, even as Jamaican, we understand that carnival is soca predominantly. You can have a little vibes here and there, a little reggae, little dance hall, but soca should be primary culturally and historically. That's just what it's been, and that's what we respected it as. So people don't like when they feel like culturally things are being shifted. But here is what I think the problem is. I think right now in a time, Black immigrant, whatever, is easy hanging fruit to bash on. But to me, the problem is Black American culture has been open for a long time, way before we even came to this country, most of us. Most of the culture has been shaped by white people, producers, industry, this, that, whichever the third, right? So Black Americans, from my perspective, have not owned their culture for a long time. It has been curated by white America. So you already been allowed your culture to be open. You've been allowed your culture to be co-opted. So it's seen as universal, it's seen as open, because when you should have taken claim to it and been very distinct about it, you were about everybody, Black and brown, come to the cookout, all that kind of stuff. I can tell you, Caribbean wise, you don't really see Caribbean culture do that. There was one very famous, not very famous, somewhat famous. He was a white guy. He's from Cayman Islands, called Collie Buds. With some good songs, great. He could not really break really into the reggae industry, because the reggae industry, the people who are gatekeeping the reggae industry are Buju, Bounty Killer. There are a number of Black men who gatekeep reggae, and they were very resistant to allowing him in. And he even sang about that. He sang about experiencing racism, trying to break further into the industry because they wouldn't budge. That's what gatekeeping
I
is.
think what they did though, Chrissy, they changed the category from like reggae to like this calypso and tried to replace reggae. And then when you look at the calypso, it's all white.
What are you talking about? Collie Bud? What are you talking about? I'm talking about Collie Buds as an artist. What are you talking about?
No, you said reggae music, right? Are you talking about reggae or
I'm talking about reggae as a genre that
right?
this particular artist was trying to break in, and folks were like not really taking to it.
No, what I'm saying is the powers that be that control hip hop, they came up with this like new category that is called like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a white reggae group, but see, I don't know if they considered it reggae or
Okay, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about this is a white group. Now that's BET, right? I think it was BET or one of those American music genre. It's a white group outside of Jamaica who create their own music for white people.
Right, but
they're not
they became
co-signed.
popular and blew up.
Yeah, they won.
With white people.
And Black Americans said that's Jamaican culture, and Jamaica said it's for everybody. It's for everybody.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Go back and look at the archives, the internet.
Can I get my point out? Because I'm trying to understand what I'm trying to get on what Dinah Samir is saying. Let me finish my sentence. You don't have no little self-control.
Don't run.
All right. In the American music where y'all decide to give out awards, I guess I don't know if they created that is an American music, whichever award show. They have this white group. Caribbean people was like, who the hell is these people? They're not co-signed by the culture. They were not embraced by the culture. They have their white thing, and you've had white groups who sing reggae and they sing it to white people. You don't see Black folk around them co-signing them. You don't see them part of the culture. You don't see them embraced. You don't see their music playing. it's very distinct. And that's why I said gatekeep. Gatekeep doesn't mean that other people, a white person or Indian person, not going to make their little, there's a dude from India and he make his little reggae music for Indian people. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when another group can actually come and kind of penetrate your culture, right? So the way people have seen Black American culture, it is, they don't see it as something that is exclusive. They see it as something that has been opened by Black Americans themselves. As I saw the cookout, it's been open. It's been open and it's been shared. It's for everybody. I remember growing up here. Oh, it's for everybody. You don't see Caribbean artists speaking in that manner when it comes to our cultural music. And I think because of that openness, this is what you get. So I understand people being upset with Africans or the Caribbeans, but you have to look at, when did we start, we being the Black Americans, ask yourself the question, when did we start allowing this open door policy with our culture to begin with? That is what landed you in the place that you are with Essence today. So you got to go back to the root and figure out, when did you start having this open door policy? Caribbean culture doesn't have an open door policy. So that's the point I was trying to make.
Knock it off. It really
Knock
does.
what off, Vovo?
It really does. Nobody wants it. We don't make people
My friend, outside of America, because I know you think America is the world, reggae music is very popular in Africa. It's very popular in Europe. The United States is not the world. And guess what? Even if the world wanted it, we are not selling it.
This ain't really
We don't have an open door policy. It's not about what the world wants. We don't care what the world wants. We don't have an open door policy. You chose to have an open door policy with your culture, and there are consequences to that you are complaining about today. That's the point I'm making.
No, nobody is making these people call themselves nigga. It's a context, Donis. I understand that you got to get your money and all that type of shit, but I didn't say it in the weird way that you're supposed to know about. I didn't know that you was African, Donis, but we get to that later. These people argue with us about being a nigga. They want
Which people?
Nobody, Jamaicans argue with us about that.
I've never seen you making lies to put up in the hell. I've never seen a Jamaican argue with a Black American. I'm a nigga. I'm a nigga. No, I'm a nigga. No, I'm a nigga. I've never, ever seen that in my life. I'm not saying you don't have Jamaicans who don't use the word, because Black America has allowed white people to use the word. You have made that word universal. When you are a Black American artist and you are on a stage with a sea of white youths and you're singing nigga and you give them the microphone for them to say nigga, you created an open door policy, and there are consequences for doing that. So that was a decision that was made by people within your culture to do. And that's why you have white folk who feel they can say nigga, the Hispanics feel they can say nigga, X, Y, and Z. Don't have an open door policy and you don't have these problems.
Listen, I agree with that. That's why we instantly, once you let somebody outside of the culture be talk nigga shit and all that, you a weirdo. We consider you to be a weirdo. But the question is, why Jamaicans want to call themselves niggas? Jamaicans will argue with you and say, I'm Black too. I'm Black like you. We went through slavery too.
Who defined nigga as Black? Who? Did the Jamaican people come up with that definition?
You didn't let me finish. You want it because you losing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we let you
go ahead.
You go ahead. Ladies first. Ladies first.
I was just making a point, but go ahead. You finish.
When you say we got an open door policy, we not making these people call themselves nigga. That's
but open door doesn't mean force. No, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You finish.
Well, then be feminine. Be in your femininity and let me speak. Or you go and I'm gonna be my masculinity and I'm gonna shut up and let you finish everything you gotta say. You gonna let me go? Sounds like she gonna let me go, y'all. We not making these people call themselves niggas and imitate us and all that. You don't have to do that. You're not gonna die if you don't imitate Black Americans. We just seen a video of a Mexican OT or some shit talking about, oh, what you gonna do about it? I'm a nigga. That's the problem. It ain't no open door policy. These people, we can't help that these people are all over us. Jamaicans are all over us. Your beloved Bob Marley wanted to sing like
the Temptations first. He just couldn't pull it off. He couldn't pull it off because he ain't got the voice. He ain't got the spirit. He don't got the Black American spirit. So he had to do some reggae shit. What Bob Marley did was dope. I like some of the Jamaican shit. I like Tommy Lee Sparta. Some of that shit, but they don't have the spirit. They not like us. Period. Everybody try to imitate our stuff. It ain't no open door policy. We literally right now, you alive for this today, gotta argue with these people. Gotta argue with these people. These people willing to die to be called, to pretend to be a nigga. Our slur, a word that we got beat down with, is people that's willing to argue with us about that, willing to die about being a nigga. So it ain't no open door policy on that. Something that I wanted to touch on what Donis was saying, something about the Jollof, or something you were saying, Donis, about the Jollof.
The jambalaya originates, it comes as a derivative of jollof rice.
I will even give you that. I will give you that. But we refined it and made it so much better. It ain't even the same thing.
Oh no, Volvo, you ain't have Chef Jen yet.
The shoe came from somewhere. The shoe came from somewhere. Shoes came from somewhere. We refined it and made it better. Everything come from somewhere. It's just we made it much better. Tell me what the Africans, they ain't got no shrimp in their jollof. Shrimp out the bayou. They ain't got that. They ain't got that beautiful, magnificent, spicy, sweet, tart sausage in they jambalaya. They ain't got, in they jollof. They ain't got that chicken in that. They ain't got that celery in them peppers and them onions cut up in that jollof. That shit ain't nothing. That jollof ain't nothing. That's black. That's all they got. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Man, that shit might as well be white rice. That shit ain't nothing. Ain't nothing like that motherfucking jambalaya. Nothing on the planet. Don't nobody make that like that but us. So if you say it started there, all right, fuck it. We refined it. Y'all want to call us Africans? We the best Africans. Yeah, we is the Africans. Yeah, we the best Africans. Ain't we the best? Name a better African than the Black Americans. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we is Africans. You want to be, yeah, we Africans. We the best Africans is what we saying. Yeah, we different. We a different type of African. Yeah, we is Africans. We the best Africans. Yeah, we made it better. Y'all imitate us. The African continent imitate us. We not telling Burna Boy to go, you ever heard Burna Boy? He had a dope song. One song I like. Yeah, my nigga.
Volvo. I will give you this. When Africans say the N word, it just don't sound right. I wish
it don't sound right. When all
it don't sound right.
It don't got the same ring. So if y'all want to be, we Africans, we the best Africans. Then you should take notes. You should, instead of making all these excuses about why y'all left y'all country, turn Jamaica into an African hub. So we can all go there and be like, shit, I want to go to Jamaica and be like, shit, if Vovo, I'm an African, right? Jamaica's an African hub and it's full of Africans. I want to go down there and be like, Vovo's sick. I need my Africans to take care of me. I should be able to go to the continent and be like, yeah, they would say, Vovo, hey man, you gotta, whatever your problem is, Mother Africa gonna take care of her baby. I'm her baby, ain't I? No, I'm not. I might be Mother's Africa because baby, but I'm a Mother America's foster child. She did a lot with me. All
right, we pass the mic. Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button if you're not hit the like button. Go ahead, Derek. Unmute yourself.
No, I actually wanted to speak on what the young lady was referring to about the culture being usurped by white people. Therefore, that would made it what I guess they say open to everyone to usurp it. So basically, she's proven the point that's been going on for the last 40 years in the States. Because everyone who comes here has no problems making money off of the American culture, but they don't want to respect the American people. Because they're going on the premise that white people invented this culture, which we call it America. And that's not necessarily true at all. Right or wrong?
Wrong.
Really? How would it be wrong?
White people been right here step by step with us. We were their slaves.
Hold on,
I'm a slave baby. I'm a slave baby.
Okay.
We were their slaves,
Okay.
bro. But listen to what I'm telling you. They're
Yes,
just
sir.
part of the culture as us. They just the bad side of the culture. They what's wrong with America? That wicked evilness that white people be doing, that ain't what America's supposed to be. They said
Oh,
liberty.
oh,
Go ahead, brother.
go ahead, sir.
No, they said
Um,
liberty and justice for all. Liberty. What do
oh,
liberty mean? What do liberty mean, brother?
freedom, choice,
Okay. What do justice mean?
a fair shake to be heard.
It right. It means the right thing. Justice means the right thing. Freedom and the right thing for all. They didn't when they wrote that, when they was writing that shit, they had slaves. What are you talking about? They didn't believe in that. They knew that that was the right thing, but they didn't believe in that. We made America honor their promise. That's why a Jamaican can come in here and wag her finger at us. She come in here and wag her finger at us. Oh, your culture is for everybody, you know that? No, it's not. Because our culture, the only way to be a part of the culture, you must be the people. If I act like a Chinese man and dress like a Chinese man and eat Chinese food, that still don't make my black ass Chinese. I'll never be Chinese. I'm always gonna be a foundational black American, period. That's my lineage. If I move to China and they accept me and they say, you Chinese and we love you and you the Chinese people they love on me, I'm never gonna be Chinese.
Hey, Derek, it's like you got a roller a skating ring or something. I hear like bounce music and shit in the background, Derek. You gotta
Oh
mute
no,
yourself.
my bad. I was here eating
Let,
some hot
let
wings.
me let me pass it to
Let me step
Dave.
outside.
Go ahead, Dave.
What's up, guys?
Go
Hey,
ahead.
did y'all see the interview where Ryan Coogler said Sinners was an FBA movie?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, this is, I don't know, man. It's looking bad for the Tethers.
It ain't even about them, bro. You making it, bro. You gotta advance, bro. When he said that, he don't even use the word tether. He know what he doing. We need him to stay on that. He got the microphone right now. He got that big Ryan Coogler fucking what's it Michael B. Jordan microphone now. When he said that, that was a salute to who else story would it be? That ain't a Jamaican story. If you watch Sinners, that ain't a Jamaican story. It's a Jamaican. He said some good shit in there. I think he's Jamaican. Ain't he Jamaican? He fired too. I like him. The blues singer that was the older dude.
I'm not sure.
The older dude that was in Sinners. But
I don't know his bits.
I
I
think he's
don't know.
I think he's Jamaican, but he fired. He a good actor. I remember him in Clockers. He said something he was acting like a black American. That's the story. He was telling a black American story in the South. It's the black American story of the South. He said something. He said our culture. He said this our culture. It's big. It's serious. He said if you go back and watch that scene in Centers, I think it's even on YouTube. He said it's big. It's this big. Our culture big. No other culture in the world like this. We've never seen nothing like this. To where your enemy, Mexicans, our enemy, white man, the white man, almighty whitey. Everybody scared of the white man. Everybody scared of the white man. He told the white man out here called himself a nigga. We ain't never seen that. You've never seen that. The Mexican hate black people, call himself a nigga. Puerto Rico call himself a nigga. Africans call us a kata, but they say, yo, my nigga. Asians, East Indians, Chinese people, they ain't calling themselves Jamaican. They ain't calling themselves fucking Mexican. They want to be niggas or slur. That's serious, y'all. Y'all, man, that's serious. Yeah, that's serious business right there. That is serious. That is it. That's godly.
Do you
That's a
think do you think it's because of the white man our culture is influential all over the world? I hear that a lot. People say that the white man made our culture as influential as it
who's
is.
saying that? Who's saying that at this point? Who?
Africans. I hear Africans all the time
They
say
say
that.
that. What do they mean because of the white man? What do they mean because of the white man?
They
What
probably mean like distribution,
I
media
mean,
exposure, the
like
people, the
Hollywood.
owners of media
You're not
who
being
have the.
hypnotized by no black Americans. You're not being hypnotized. You don't have to participate or
No, they're saying they're
That's
being
that's not what the man is saying.
well,
they're
I'm
saying
He's
they're
saying
saying
being
that there were
hypnotized.
Africans who said that it's influential
I'll
by
give you
white
something,
people.
Dave.
Okay, what's
It's
up?
being marketed by white people.
Marketed, that's the word,
Ask
marketed.
Dave and Don is this. What's your favorite soccer team?
My favorite soccer team?
Yeah.
I don't watch soccer.
Okay. All right. All right. Talking to you. What's your favorite soccer team, Don?
I don't. I guess I don't
We
watch.
don't watch soccer. It's the biggest sport in the world. It's mass distributed. It's all over the internet. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to watch soccer. We don't watch that shit. We call it soccer. They call it football. Football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, is the biggest sport in the world. We don't watch that shit. Don't nobody care about that shit. We don't watch that shit. It's all over the internet. You don't know nothing about it because you're not interested. These people are interested in us. It ain't about mass distributing from the white man and all that. No, everything on your phone about Black Americans right now, you put it on there. You had to go search that up yourself because they interested in us. They get drawn to us. That's why they have a struggle. What they say, where the Black Americans at? Bitch, fuck you. Bitch, go back to your country. You think I'm about to go out there and fight for my enemy? For a motherfucker that came to this country and said they hate me? Bitch, I'm about to fight with put me over there with ICE. I'm about to join ICE. I drive trucks. I drive a semi right to Mexico and drop them bitches right back in Guadalajara or wherever they at. You think I'm about to fight for my enemy? Motherfucker that come over here? Man, boy, y'all niggas crazy.
All right, let me pass it to Wildflower. And Vovo, that's enough M-bombs with context for today. That's for the whole panel. All right, go ahead, Wildflower.
Hi, panel. Hi, Dynasty. So I definitely feel that the Black American culture is obviously globally well known because it's been marketed to the world through the films, through the music. So I feel like obviously they've been the talent, but when it comes to actually getting the world to know about Black American talent, it has been the European Americans doing that because they own all the channels of distribution. They own all of that. So while Black people have the talent, but somebody else is selling their talent to the world. So that's probably something they should have more ownership over. And secondly, with this new thing about FBAs getting upset about people who they deem other Blacks that are not like them, being interested in their culture, or they think taking their culture or cosplaying their culture. I find it really interesting that they don't have that same energy for people like, for non-Black people. If the Japanese are cosplaying them, that's fine. The Koreans, the European Americans, they seem to embrace that a lot. So I think there's some self-esteem issues where there is this desire for proximity to whiteness. And I see that within the FBA community, they will be bragging on about, oh, I'm Native, I've got Indian, I have European. You never see them bragging about having African in them. So there is some sort of internalized self-hate issues that obviously a psychologist will have to deal with. And it might take over 400 years to heal from whatever's happening to them. But I find that they don't have any problems when other non-Blacks are cosplaying their culture.
Can I
But
say
when
this?
Black people do it, then it becomes a problem. It becomes more like, we want to delineate, we want to protect. So it's almost like we want to be the Blacks that the whites like, and I sense that a lot from them. Obviously, they will deny it. But I feel like with the FBAs, they have this sense of like, I'm close to Massa. I've known him for 400 years. I've, bred with him and I've ate with him. But at the same time, Massa does not have that same love for them at all. Because after
That's
400 or
actually how that
500
dude
years,
said.
he's
That's
still not accepted you. He'll still pick a Ukrainian that can't even speak English over you any day. Even Bobo, you have to let me speak. You're
Oh, I
getting
thought I
very
thought
into
you were
your
letting the
feelings.
lady speak. I thought you were standing in your masculine today. What happened?
Though she
I
know
thought you
everything.
was in your masculine today.
She know everything. She know
You
everything.
changed your mind?
He's
Trolling.
not allowing me to speak because he knows I'm speaking the truth.
Hey, Vovo,
I feel
Vovo,
like
let us speak, Vovo. Go
I
ahead.
want to finish off because I feel like a a lot of the FBA Edios kind of energy, I feel it's kind of come out of, it's coming from a place of, we want to be closer to Massa. We've been 500 years living with him next door and everything else. And we don't want anyone else to take our space. But Massa would choose over a Ukrainian with blonde hair and blue eyes that doesn't speak English, that comes to your country tomorrow over you, he's lived with you for 500 years. So you guys obviously will get your wake-up call, but you don't seem to get it. And obviously there's a pathology there. And I'm not a psychologist, but I don't really even want to unpack that. Thank you.
Let me just real fast. She talking like us. We got y'all talking like us, using our word massa and a wake up call and all that. Just for the record, these people ain't got no ideas. They ain't got no good ideas. None.
Massa was a term also used in the Caribbean, so it's not like
I'm
Yeah,
using the words that
you.
you'll understand, but you know you know him as Massa, so I'm just trying to help you understand where I'm coming from. That I know the words that you know, and you're obviously you're very attached to him, and you don't want to leave. You know, it's okay. You know, there's a trauma there. That's fine. We all need to deal with our healing.
Shaming tactics don't work. Can't no immigrant to Europe tell me about the following Massa.
Yeah, he has an English accent.
We throw that away now. Y'all still doing that?
You're moving away from other blacks to get closer to him in his bed, so you really can't talk.
Shaming tactics don't work no more. We just telling the truth. That's
But
why
you don't have shame. Somebody that had shame would not be delineating from other black people to get closer to people that have harmed you for 500 years. You don't have any shame, Vovo. You don't have any shame, and that's okay because it serves you right. If you had shame, you'll be able to say, actually, there's no reason why I should be with somebody who's harmed me for 500 years or 400 years, and you're repping a country that doesn't even care about you. You know, a European American would choose a Russian over you any day, and you know that. So I don't know why you kind of was it the word you're sort of like hanging on to somebody that really doesn't want you. It's an unrequited love. That's what it is. It's okay. You know, it's not your fault anyway. It really isn't your fault. It's not your fault. So I can't actually even have a go at you. It's not your fault. You're somebody that's coming from a generation of trauma. So you've trauma bonded with him. You both have trauma bonded to each other. You should look up trauma bonding. That's what FBS have, trauma bonding with European Americans. It's really deep.
Can I ask you a question, Wildflower?
Yeah, go ahead. Then I got passed to Elvis. Hold on, go ahead. Then ask your question. I passed it to Elvis.
She seems educated. Is she familiar with the Tuskegee Airmen?
Yeah, of course I am.
All right. Is there like an equivalent to that in Europe for blacks in Europe?
What do you mean? We didn't have that. We didn't have that in Europe.
So that's probably the main difference between us and you guys in Europe. We kind of have ownership, and we actually got blood and sacrifice for the country. And
Okay,
you guys,
I can answer that question if you would like.
Got I guess for a better. I went to Europe for a better life, right? So that's it's a different relationship. We actually
I can answer that question if you would like. That was during World War II, correct?
Yeah, 1940s.
Okay, 1940s. There were thousands, the British who were also involved in World War II. There were thousands of Africans and Caribbeans who also fought and died during World War II. After Europe was destroyed.
For equivalent, you said no. I said you have equivalent. You said
you asked somebody else. I'm a different person. You asked Wildflower. I'm Chrissy. I'm a different person.
Let Chrissy answer it.
Was that
you want to do it? Okay. Tell him about the Windrush generation who rebuilt Europe when the Europeans couldn't do it. So we also have blood and sweat equity. And matter of fact, after Africans helped the Europeans win World War II, what did they do in Senegal? You know about Senegal, right, sis?
The ones they shot. They were asking
shot
for
and the
their
mass
money.
grave of our people afterwards. So we also have blood and sweat equity as well.
Africans fought in World War II for Europe.
Name one hero.
Yeah.
Well, Volvo, if you haven't read history, it's not my job to teach you history. You act as if America is the world. You don't really seem to be informed about the world. You're only informed in how to make your master happy. Because you should know this. You shouldn't be asking me who. What kind of history are they teaching you
They
in
don't
your
teach history
education
in
system?
America.
Dinus, can I come in?
Let me pass the mic to
America's
Elvis.
not the world. This is how Americans get disrespected because you guys are not knowledgeable about the world.
Go ahead, Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Dinus. Hello to the panel. Hello to the chat. I think you probably made this point, and maybe I missed it because I didn't start the show. But to my brother Vovo, Vovo, Essence is owned by African. Richelieu Dennis, the guy who owns Shea Moisture, a Liberian, he bought Essence. So I'm guessing he probably wanted to incorporate a more African flavor to that festival since he owns it now. So maybe that's that's why you see more Africans being a part of it. But I would just give you advice, right? Not that you need it, but don't tie your culture to transitory enterprises. Many businesses, things that can be sold, like what we saw with BET with Bob Johnson. Everybody loved BET. They thought it was a black station. But of course, when it was ripe, he sold it to Viacom. And now you have a white man who owns it, but have black people, curating black content for black consumer or black consumption. So most of these things that you're attaching your culture to, these are enterprises that can be sold, here today, gone tomorrow. So if you have a business and you think that's part of your culture, if that business is sold to somebody outside of your culture, then now it's no longer part of your culture because now somebody else is going to want to infuse their culture into that enterprise.
Right. Exactly.
So I think maybe Donis, you made that point. Maybe I didn't catch it, but it is owned by an African. Essence is owned by an African.
Right, Elvis.
The guy who owns Shea Moisture.
Elvis, the point I was making, if ADOS and FBA so upset, well, they just buy it from them.
Nobody cares about that, Donis. Though that's another point.
Yeah, they've been complaining about it this whole week.
No, people been complaining about it. Volvo, that is not Black American anymore. It's more Africans there now.
That's why you on the panel today.
Let me say this, right? Them the bootleg type motherfuckers and all that. I'm from Black America for real. I grew up, my mama had a subscription to Essence, Jet, Ebony, all that shit. It's a pile of magazines in the corner. When the last time you picked up a magazine and read it? We don't give a fuck about that shit no more. On the ground, I'm talking about the real culture. I'm still in the culture. I don't know nothing about them weirdos that's on the internet and all that shit. I'm talking about in the culture. If you go into the Rib Shack right now, ain't no Essence on the table. They might got a charger on the table where you can plug your phone up. Ain't nobody looking at no Essence. Don't nobody care about that shit. Shit obsolete because we don't fuck with it. That's some African shit. They can have that shit. But
can you tell us what the culture is then? Because that's what we were talking about.
Listen to what I'm saying. This ain't about what the culture is.
No, you said you're part of the culture, so I don't know if I personally don't understand what that means.
That's the title of the show, Volvo, about Essence, right?
Right. So if you can define what the culture is, so we can make the proper distinction.
Black American community.
Man.
Where we don't care nothing about no Essence. Ain't nobody picking up no Essence magazine.
Okay, well let Elvis finish. I got past the information man show. Go ahead, Elvis.
No, I just want to make that point. I didn't know if you knew that, Dinus. I thought you made that point, but information man can go. I just want to give that little caveat.
I definitely knew that. Go ahead, information man show.
No, I just wanted to say, if y'all can hear me,
we hear you.
That I think today these particular magazines, whether it be Essence or a Jet, they don't have the same attendant effect that they had in the past. Now, they were a part, let's keep it real. They were a part of Black culture. They were the only reason why you have a Jet, you had an Essence, you had a Ebony magazine, is because they were the only magazines that gave you Black culture on the ground, as well as celebrity and people that were socialites within the community when the community was more on one page. So they are institutions of the Black community, but it has changed because you've had people come in and purchase them, such as white corporations and other groups who are not at the foundation of what those magazines are really about. So when Volvo says that Black people don't care about what we call an Essence magazine today, I would agree with that to a certain degree because those magazines don't really speak to our culture anymore. It speaks to legitimate culture. It speaks to the LGBTQ and all these other groups. They make men look bad. They even make black women look bad. And these publications have been bastardized by people who are not maintaining what it was intended for when the original founders of the culture of these magazines were created. What I have to say to everybody on the panel is that Black people always in America, particularly and also globally, Black people have always had culture. We've always created our own culture in our own way because we were not allowed to be a part of mainstream society. So we were forced to have to create something out of nothing almost, okay? And out of that creation, we influenced and innovated. And yes, the unfortunate part is that other people have come in and have profited off of things that Black people have created. Now, when you talk about Black culture, Voval, you can appreciate this, brother. You cannot talk about Black culture without including all the damn Black inventions that Black people created in this country that you all benefit from globally and nationally. Nobody has created as many inventions as we have. Half the shit that you're using, from the hot comb to your refrigerators, to your ironing board, to your elevators that go up and down to the third rail, to your potato chips, things that created the ice box, electrical fusions. And actually, it was truly a Black man who created the electricity that you have that turns on your filter, even though the white man stole it. You had white people who got their names on these inventions because at one point in time, let me give y'all a little history here. When Black people created inventions, they were not allowed in the beginning to have patents in this country. So white men would take on the patents for Black inventors, then profit from it. And then you're told that the white man created this or created that and what have you. Even when it comes to the computer that we're using, our cell phones, there were Black men involved in inventing certain components of that. So Black culture is not just dancing and singing and sports. Everybody globally keeps associating us with that. Black culture is our technology, things that we've invented. And of course, quite embarrassing, I have to be honest, some of this stuff has been commandeered, it has been stolen, it has been misconstrued. And so when you say, well, why do Black Americans have a chip on our shoulders? Because we basically created the systems that function in this society, and we never got paid we never got our just due for the things that we have done, whether it be our service in the military in this country, going all the way back to the Civil War. That's why Black Americans, we will holler to the high sky and say, we're not immigrants, because we were here at the very foundation of this country when it was formed off of our backs. The American flag that we see, now Betsy Ross didn't do that because Black people did most of the domestic work, sewing and making food. It was a young Black woman that had something to do with that flag that people talk about, the American flag. So we're at the foundation of these things. And this is just a byproduct of the slave trade, when there were some tribes in the continent that did contribute, along with the Arabs and the Europeans and the Portuguese, that brought most of us to Brazil. And then about 4 to 5% of us were moved to what we call America today. But the majority of Black people were moved into Brazil. Okay. And what happens is what goes around comes around. Our ancestors, or people who were involved in an intertribal warfare, sold us into this shit. And we were sold into this world and in slavery. And then once we were able to fight, see, we stood here and fought. Our ancestors fought tooth and nail to make things better for ourselves here. We didn't say, oh, let's leave. Now, you had Liberia, Black folks went over there and what have you. But for the most part, we stood here 10 toes down, dealing with the shit, creating laws or causing laws to happen, which many people benefit that come here from other countries, all different races, creating laws. We created towns. See, a lot of people don't even know about many of the towns that Black people created in California, in the South, in the North, that were destroyed and burnt down, that we had to fight. We only hear about Black Wall Street, we hear about Rosewood, but there were many other towns where Black people built something that was destroyed and we had to start over again. Not to mention that Hollywood, remember, the first movie company created by Black folks was Lincoln Films, 1919. Look that up. And Black people, they called it race movies. We create our own movies. We had our own industry when, of course, we were in segregation. And every time we were able to produce something on our own, either it would be destroyed by someone or an infiltration would happen and what have you.
Hey,
So
brother,
these are some of I'm gonna wrap it up. These
Yeah,
are some of the reasons why you have some Black Americans who will have, you would say, a chip on their shoulder or have a certain way that they feel about. Now, I'm just saying a chip, Vogel, because that's how people would perceive it. But we understand why we are proud of our history. We recognize some of the ills in the history, but I'm not here to sit up here and punch down on people in the Caribbean or punch down on people in Africa. I don't believe in punching down on people, but I am proud of our accomplishments in this country that people run here to get here to benefit from.
I know him. Bro, are you on Twitter?
Sir, I'm on Twitter. I got a YouTube channel. We've been on panels together, man. We've been on panels. We were on this panel last time, brother. I'm familiar with you. No. I'm not here to disrespect anybody, brother.
You are in love, bro. You going into all types of shit.
Yeah, but brother, I'm not. Well, you got to admit that some of the things that I said are based on true history, my brother. Yes, sir.
I told you can't just flush everything out your mind all at once.
I'm not flushing everything out of my mind. I'm telling truth, brother. My channel was about truth, tell the truth. And nothing I said that flushed out of my mind, as you put it, can be disputed, can be said as untruths, can be looked up.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going to land my plane there, brother Dynas and everybody on the panel. However I said it, brother, none of it can be denied as falsehood. And that's the bottom line.
All right, let me pass it to Noya. Noya C. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
What's up, Water? Hey,
what's up, babe?
Yeah, man. I hear all y'all talking, and I can tell none of y'all really been to Essence like that. So I've been going to Essence since what, 96.
Hey, no. Are you on your speakerphone or?
I'm on my headphones. Do I take it off my headphones?
Yeah. Take off your headphones. Talk directly into your phone.
All right. Is it better?
That's a little bit better. Go ahead.
You on direct. Hold on. Let me take it off. Yeah, so like it's the little things that's really different. It's not really y'all trying to make it something like deep Martin Luther King, Malcolm X shit. I'm sorry to curse. It ain't that deep. It's just the small stuff. Like we could tell it changed in like 2005 when it changed over to that magazine. You could tell a lot of money got into it, but as far as like just the prime example that Frankie Beverly and Mays got kicked out. And then last show wasn't even in Essence. That show you right there when the downfall happened. We don't even have White Sunday nights no more. And if you don't know about the White Sunday night, then you ain't never really been to Essence. And that's the thing that's it's really like it's the cool fact, it's the family fact. It really, they always had like little African stuff in it, but it wasn't that jollof rice versus jambalaya. That's probably the most disrespectful thing I've seen. That would almost be equivalent of us going to a Jamaican festival and saying brisket versus jerk chicken. You're like, what the hell you doing brisket down here? That don't make no sense. So, I mean, to be honest with you, all them people should be fired because that's an embarrassment, especially Essence. Essence is supposed to be like a crown jewel in the Black community. So they got to stop that, and all them people need to be fired. And the lady from UK, Wildflower.
But it's owned by African, bro.
She gotta watch herself the way she talking about some massacres. I know a lot of people around here, they get their mouth slapped. So nobody's scared of no white person. Nobody trying to be cool with nobody white. So it's not even, we don't even play them type of games. And I've been to my motherland. It's a lot of love, but trust me, don't get it twisted. There's a lot of I want to be cool with the white man too in Africa. So don't act like you bet on that end. So we all got our issues, but it's really the cool factor, man. That African stuff just gotta go. It's not part of essence. So they just gonna have to take the L like a
But
champ
Essence,
and
but Essence
change.
is owned by African, bro.
Well, watch this. You could own something and be smart. I mean, I could own watch this. I could own an Italian restaurant and not put no jerk chicken in it. It's like you gotta be smart. If I want to make money, I want to cater to the people that made money with. That's black folks. You can't just because you own by something. I mean, they got a lot of companies owned by different races. They still smart enough to go, you know what? This is our customer base, and I'm gonna stick with my customer base. What it
Right,
is people get too fly on their britches, and they think they could do better. And then when the black folks don't support them, now they want to cry.
but New Orleans, brother,
Well,
did
you
you
think
hear what I
Africans didn't
said
consume
in the
Essence?
beginning?
We consumed it.
Say again. I can't hear
I
you.
want to say to you, brother, did you hear what I said in the beginning about how Essence? I go way back myself, brother. I'm not a super young guy here, but
Wait, watch this. They was
go
charging
back.
to get in the super lounge. If you know how
Right.
crazy that is.
What I wanted to say, I'm not talking about Essence Festival. Festival is about entertaining. And I think black people, the last thing we need is more entertainment. I'm talking about the man who actually founded the magazine, the Essence magazine, as well as Ebony. Most of these magazines had
Yeah.
a
The lady
foundation.
with
No,
the
don't.
big forehead.
Yeah,
I met her.
brother.
I know her.
Most of these magazines had a foundation in the black community.
Yes.
And they have lost their goal. They have
But
lost
watch
their
this.
vision.
Watch this, sir.
And
Watch
when you
this, sir.
have other people who buy the
I
magazine
know,
and
but
what
watch this.
happens is they bring
Let me show you.
let me
And
finish
no
what I'm saying
disrespect,
here.
but let me show you
They
how that's irrelevant. The reason
no,
why
it
that's
is relevant
I know, but let me
because they're
speak.
not connecting to
I'm
our
about to tell
culture
you.
as they did in their
If you're gonna let,
foundation.
I'm about to
Go
tell
ahead,
you why
brother.
that's irrelevant.
Go
The
ahead.
reason why that's irrelevant because the same reason why nobody listens to the New York Times, nobody listens to CNN, all those old legacy media apparatuses, they don't have the same power. Platforms
But
like this is what
okay.
this is where the power is at now. So
Right.
those magazines of those times of the past, the reason why they were big is because it was consolidated media. There's no longer consolidated media. So now it's going to be the podcast. It's the new generation. So for us to even think that that's going to happen, that's like full gold. Even if say a great black person owned it, it still wouldn't have the impact and power it had back in the day. So now
Right,
guess
but
what?
this the
So watch
thing.
this.
This is the thing.
So they need to
This
be
is
an
the thing.
essence version. They need to be
No,
an essence
this is
version
the
of a
thing.
podcast.
This
They
is
need
the
to be
thing. This is the
essence
thing.
versions of a Jet magazine.
I'm actually agreeing with a little bit of what you're saying. This is the problem with Essence and Ebony and Jet. The problem is they didn't keep up with the technology.
Bingo. So
They
guess
didn't
what?
do a good
So
job.
guess
Let
what?
me finish.
Okay,
They
okay.
didn't do a good job with trying to maintain the
Bingo.
culture through using the technology,
Bingo.
going into podcasting. So I'm actually agreeing with you, good brother. That's the problem. But this is the thing. No matter what platform you use, and even on YouTube, you see that. If you're not speaking a message that speaks to the people, whether it be a podcast on video or audio or anything, when you don't speak to what the people really want to hear, then you're going to lose their ear. This is
You know
why
what you're
people come to
explaining? You know
social
what you're
media.
explaining?
This
It's
is
easy.
why they'll listen.
It's easy to sell fast food. It's
Right.
harder to sell good food. But guess
Right.
what? The good food allows you to live longer. And,
Right. But
so guess
people,
what? Unless you put in the work for the good food,
yes,
you're gonna
yes, sir.
die. So guess what Essence is doing? They're dying because they invested in fast food instead of investing in food for the soul. So that's
You're
their
right.
fault.
Let me leave with just this last statement.
And
For example, I'm going to use Dynas for example. People will come over here to listen to Dynas, his panels, look at his videos, or anybody on YouTube because you're speaking to issues and saying something that the mainstream media doesn't have any clue. And that's the same thing that goes for some of the black publications. Whether it's Africans that own it or white folks who whatever, Viacom, they're still not speaking to what people want to hear today and what's going on. They're out of touch. And even if they use the technology that you speak of, my good brother, and they're not in touch with what we want to hear, they wouldn't be successful anyway. Because remember, Jet Magazine tried to go digital. I think even Essence, and it failed. Why did it fail? Because they still failed to address what's going on today and what we want to hear. They kept getting into other issues that we weren't really interested in. I'm just saying, you got to go back and look at that. Jet Magazine went digital. Essence went digital. I think even Ebony, and they all failed because they didn't have the right message that we wanted to hear. Thank you, Dynas. I'm about to get off the panel. Thank you, brother, for your input and everybody that's on the panel.
All right, no problem. No problem. Thank you for joining. All right, guys, please hit the like button again. Please hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Let me pass it to go Kala. You gotta go ahead, Kala. Kala, you got a whole bunch of background noise, Kala. You're on your Obama phone.
I'm watching I'm watching Black Panther. Oh goddamn, man. I haven't seen this movie. Yeah, I love this movie, man.
Okay. All right.
That was a good one. That second one was garbage, man. Wakanda Forever. I don't know what the hell that was all about, man. But this first Black, I haven't seen it in a long time. The FX playing it right now. That was a fight between Baku and Chala. Love that scene, man.
And let me say this right before you go real fast. The reason why Essence don't mean nothing is because they lost the pulse of the people. He said he go to Essence Festival. That's a tradition you doing. I'm talking about in Black America. Everywhere you would go in Black America, that was a staple. Essence, Jet, Ebony, all this stuff.
I know. The thing is, Essence, Ebony, and all these magazines lost their way. We start deviating because remember, so at the heyday of Essence and all these people, it was a civil rights movement. It was Black Power movement and all these other things. We were all on the same page. It's all it's called. But as Black people started getting to the mainstream and having different ideas, different experience, we weren't the same people struggling to get ahead. Like some people would have disagreements about how to achieve success. And so therefore these magazines didn't adapt to the changing of Black America. Then, the reality of Black America changing, like, things like interracial marriage, gender, the lifestyles and stuff like that. Black America is very conservative, right? And these magazines, to basically appease a certain audience, the mainstream, Black people, these people had to take on democratic and liberal agendas and everything like that. It shows you, like, when Ebony magazine was taken over by John Johnson's adopted daughter, she ran into the ground. She started bringing all these white people. Essence started falling when they put white gay guys on their fashion board. This was a changing of Black America. It used to be a time period where these magazines stood for the values of Black America. And I think Richard Dennis, I think that's the name, Liberian guy, when he took it over, he somewhat saved it. But you think Essence is going to go back to where it was before? No. And so now it's Africans who are, even though Rachel Dennis calls himself African American, he does. He calls himself African American. He bought Madam C.J. Walker's house and everything. But so let's not look at it as an African taking over. He's still very, his vision of Black America is anybody Black in America, right? What you have is a lot of FBA ADOS people want to define Black America by slave descendants, and a traditional thing. Well, we gave that up a generation ago when we stopped unifying based on the fight for civil rights and all stuff like that. So there's really nothing holding us together. So that's why Rachel Dennis is in power now. What's the disagree, Volvo?
We is together. What do you mean ain't nothing holding us together?
No, hey man, y'all really talking around the issue. The thing is
that's what I want to know. Like, what year is y'all living in? Y'all don't see that we unified now.
Check this
out.
How
we unified?
What do you you
okay, think? Let me ask you this. I'm not going to hog the mic. Let me just ask you a simple question, right? Now, you Volvos, let's say you want to Volvo's program to buy back the hood, right? Let's say you got a plan to buy back the hood, and you want to populate the hood with Americanized Negroes, right? Well, on the let's say there's there's 5 houses on the
fantasy stuff, bro. You saying?
Hold. You said we're unified, right? So let's build your ideal hood, right? Let's build
What
your
is
ideal hood, right?
Americanized Negro?
Okay, on the end of the block, we
We
have
not talking about my idea hood,
hold
bro.
on.
I'm not
Hold
listen,
on.
bro.
At the
Listen,
end of the block,
where
we
you
have
find
a
these
Hebrew
guys at?
Israelite.
Where you find
The
these
second
weird?
to the last block, we have an Aboriginal Indian. Then the next house,
Talking
we
about?
have.
Oh, that's the troll guy. That's the troll
I'm
guy.
not
Nah, but
trolling.
he's telling the truth
I'm
though.
telling you the truth.
Hold on, but don't
Yeah,
interrupt. No,
He not asking.
don't interrupt. Colin, start off the block again. Go ahead and give us the demographic of the block.
Okay. On the first house of the block, you got a Hebrew Israelite. You know, the second house of the block, you got an Aboriginal Indian. You know, the third house of the block, you got a Moor. The fourth house, you got a MAGA Negro. You know, Make America Great Again Negro. You know, the fifth block is whoever. It's a wildflower, whoever. You know. So the bottom line is this: a wild card, whatever. So the bottom
They
line
all
is
eat
you got
collard
all
greens
these
and neck bones.
dissimilar black people. How can you create a cook? You think you could have a cookout where all these people get along and think Volvo?
Yeah, they all eat barbecue.
You know what that is? You're an internet
All
guy.
of them eat barbecue, fried chicken,
You
fish.
don't have your feet.
What are you
in
talking
the
about?
You're not
They're the same
grassroots.
people.
Hey, Vote, but hey, but look, y'all
internet
talking.
guys.
Look, y'all
Follow
talking around the issue. The problem is that certain
He
black
asked
people.
you a question.
But no, but look,
I'm trying to hear the. Go ahead, Nola. Go ahead.
certain black people got up and they wanted to maintain that money. That's all it is. It's not that the Jet magazine changed and Ebony changed. No, certain people got to certain positions, and then the people above them that started giving them certain checks told them basically,
What
if you
did
want to
y'all
keep
do
your
on the
companies
4th of July?
popping, you're gonna have to maintain this money. So
What's
that's
today?
what I'm
Hold
trying
on.
to say.
Let's see what's today.
The reason why they're not risk taking no more is because they want to keep their position. So until people want to risk their position, we ain't gonna never have no
What
change
did
of
y'all
the
do
magazine.
on Friday? What did y'all do on
Hey,
Friday?
guy, I gotta read these super chats. Information Man Show, thank you for the $4 holla. Much respect, brother. Laugh out loud, noob. Thank you for the $20 holla. American culture is a worldwide phenomenon because white people dominate the world. Black American culture is an exploited extension of American culture. Why are other pockets of Black American culture not worldwide? He has a point. Great point. Go ahead, Kofi.
That's an Asian, by the way. But here's
No,
the
let me pass. Go ahead, Kofi.
I was gonna ask the lineage of Rachel Dennis. Is he related to the Cecil Dennis that
Yeah, I think so.
was
I think
killed
so.
in the coup?
Yeah, yes. He's
Okay,
part
yeah,
of
he's
the Dennis's, Liberia.
let me ask this. What did y'all do on the 4th?
Liberians come from America.
On the 4th that just passed. If y'all are part of the culture, what y'all do? Y'all not on the ground. I can tell by the way y'all talking. This shit y'all talking about is nonsense.
I just think it's given like inbred, like when I see a African woman, I see a Caribbean woman, a woman outside my culture, I'm gonna embrace her because I'm not trying to date within my ethnic group. We already know each other too
You
much.
African, right? You African, right?
I'm a Black American with an African wife, but I'm just saying it's given
No, you're
inbred.
African.
It's like you want to sleep with your sisters, you want to sleep with your cousins.
You're African.
I think that's
That's never
crazy.
been inbred to breed with your people. There's never been to breed with your people.
That's
What are you
inbred,
talking
man.
about? Well, what are you talking about? It's Black American women all over America. We ain't no
Right.
inbreds. We've been breeding with their people. Chinese people breed with other
How can you
Chinese
not,
people. You're not
regardless? How can
inbred.
you not like a
What are you talking
woman
about?
that's from a different
What do
culture?
you mean? Because I don't agree with her. I don't understand her. She ain't gonna
That's my
understand me.
business.
She ain't gonna
Nah,
understand me. Oh no, that's
you
your
don't you
business.
don't you don't like her. You don't like her off the back, just like you don't want people to stereotype
Yo,
you.
hey,
You can't
Dias, man. I'm
stereotype
sitting
her.
here watching Black
If she
Panther.
can't fry my chicken the way I like it, I
Lupita was,
Right.
how can anybody deny Africa when Lupita is so beautiful in this movie?
Who?
Oh,
She is a beautiful
Lupita.
woman. It's beautiful white women. It's beautiful Latino
No,
women.
but we do the only black, bro.
It's beautiful. What make you black?
I
Because
do only American.
got dark skin. Y'all gone
Now,
like that.
now
Y'all
I find it ironic because Rachel Dennis people was
who is that? I don't
discriminated.
know. Yes, no.
He's the owner of he's the owner of Essence. His
He
people
African. He African. Like
He's
pretty much
he's
FBA
African American descent.
was
what
okay.
make
He's
you
Black
black?
American descent. He's a
What
Black
make
You're
you black?
American
doing
descent.
FBA is pulling a Liberia.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He calls himself. You can look at him. His bloodline. You can
Oh,
look
the
at him
look,
and
the
tell
way
he's
you
African
look make
American
you
descent.
black.
You
Hold
know?
on, man.
I find it ironic.
Yes, he
I
is.
find it ironic that FBA is pulling
I
the
heard him
exact truth
specifically say that.
that
His
Liberia's
family was
indigenous are pulling.
persecuted because he was one of the American Liberians. That's what he said. Right. So the bottom line, Elvis don't want the American Liberians having any credit for anything. Yes, he's American. He's not native. He's American Liberian.
That's why he left.
Why are you cleaning somebody, bro?
That's why he left. That's why he left. He doesn't identify with Liberia at all. He's peculiarly African Americanized now. You know?
As
Ain't no
much as I
now.
like to
You
take
can't be.
FBA side, FBA is only doing the same thing that Liberian indigenous did against the Black American elite that ruled for 150
Here
years.
come the trolling. How so? We ain't enslaved nobody. We don't give a fuck about. We prefer not to be around you. You showed the spirit.
Liberians come from
They
America.
enslaved motherfuckers. We don't.
No,
We ain't
not all. Like the indigenous people that took over the government that sacked the
over
elite,
what? How are we
that
taking over
sacked the
any?
Americo
How
elite.
are we hurting any
FBA
Africans?
is doing the same thing that they're doing.
You just
So they're
talking.
only returning the favor. And
Lying.
right
You're
now,
lying.
right
You're lying.
now, Igbo kings are trying to move, trying to
You know why? You
approach.
know why I'm the only one up here that can show my face? Because I'm right. History gonna remember Bobo is right. Bobo Rest was right.
Ivo, you're
That's why
looking good,
y'all
man. You're
gotta
looking
hide.
good, man.
Funny.
Yeah, I do look good. I am a handsome
But
black man. Yeah.
I'm just making a point that all African peoples or all humans are in a way they're xenophobic, and it's okay. It's a
We're
natural
not
thing.
xenophobe. You have nothing that we want. I don't feel when I see an African, I don't feel inferior. I have the superior culture.
Okay,
I have
what,
the
but
superior
what
culture.
about my grandparents? My
I
grandparents
don't.
was both born here, and they loved each other until death did them part. So was they wrong? They
No,
had 8
What are you
children.
saying? What are you talking about? What are you
We are
niggas?
they were
Americans.
they were forced to love each other. They couldn't go outside in any other ethnic groups or any other races. But right now we're free.
They didn't want
Can you
to.
give examples of the superior culture? Can you give us some examples of the
I'll be right
superiority?
back.
Black America, I don't know. I
I'd
was
love to hear
superior.
about it.
Black America's a civilizing culture because we're the only culture that built institutions and stuff like that. You know, that's what I know.
Yeah, but we don't have to be inbred. I'm just saying.
Americans have done nothing but be Americans for hundreds of years.
Kala, can you expound on that?
What are
What do
you
you mean you're
saying?
the only culture that
Okay,
built
what I'm saying is
institutions?
this. Hold
Let me
on,
know when you're ready.
look.
Let me know
I'm
when
not
you're
saying.
ready.
Hold on.
Let
I'm
me
not
know when
saying
you're
this to
ready.
disrespect nobody and whatnot, but
No, well, if it's
hold on. I'm
disrespectful,
not trying to
you can
disrespect other groups of people,
let me know
but
when you're
the
ready.
only group of
You ask me a
people
question.
that actually built a industrialized middle class is Black America. Only Black
Let me
people.
know when you're ready.
You know.
Let me know when you're ready.
Black Americans also took the concept of country after the United States sacked the British monarch and took the concept of country to Africa. So, one
I
thing
agree.
I never hear
Well,
FBA talk about is their foundations in Africa.
Let
Since
me
they
know when you're
founded the
ready.
first country on the African continent called Liberia.
Let me know when y'all ready.
Oddly, I never hear that. And I think it's ironic that it's a Liberian who owns Essence and they're complaining about a Liberian in which a country they founded. I'm just getting
No,
tired of this inbred shit, man. It's the same thing in Africa. They had sacked the Americo elite because of the same thing. Right now, you got Africans complaining about Nigerians coming to their countries, taking their women. And I'm like, yo, this is the type of mixture we need. But everyone is locked in borders,
no.
and they're inbreeding, and they're getting more stupid. And that's why Africa is the way it is now because they're locked in
Well, how come you
like
don't live in
crabs in a barrel.
Africa? Do you live in Africa?
But he spent
No,
like 10 years
no.
there.
I just
No,
have citizenship in Africa. That's all.
no, but you don't live there.
I don't. I
Why
live
don't
here
you live there?
because the money's
Because he has to live here
the
Okay,
because his
fiat.
so
country
Wait, hold on, hold on, hold
hold
on.
on.
The
Yes, sir.
IMF money is here. The IMF money is here. It's not in other countries. They print money and they give it to other countries, and in
Let me know when
return,
you're ready,
they
Chris.
steal their
Let
resources.
me know when you're
So
ready, Chris.
I'm also a victim of that, just like the global world. So yes, I'm here.
So the American
No.
people aren't a
Oh,
victim
hold
of
on.
that
Did this
either?
guy just say he was a black American that married an African?
Right. That's
Yeah,
but he
so do
don't
I.
live
I'm
in
a Black
Africa.
American and married African too. So what's the big deal?
Okay, but why don't you live in
Yeah,
Africa?
I didn't marry no African.
Because it
I have a
doesn't stop.
business
The
here.
money is here.
It
I have a
does
The money
business
is in
no
the
here.
right.
USA.
Hold on,
Let me
The
say
stop,
money
it.
is
stop.
here.
Let me say it.
So now the lady had asked, what's the difference? What makes you better? Obviously, financially, it's better here.
It's better here. Yeah,
Period.
Can I
Okay,
ask a
that's that's a
question?
fact.
so now
They're
let's
gonna
talk
lose your
about
question.
Americans being Americans for hundreds of years because that's what made this place great.
Can I give
Period.
you an example of what she said?
We are those Americans.
What she asked.
We would like to be respected.
Can you
Period.
give Derek? Can you give the example of what she said?
She asked the question of why do we say that they have the expectations of we are better?
That ain't what she asked.
We
She said, can you?
Me?
what is
Are you talking about me?
Can you
yes,
give you?
your question
She
was
said, "What
No.
makes your culture superior to
Yeah,
Africans?"
because
what makes
Bobo is
your
saying he's
culture superior
superior.
is the yes, and I just explained it. And he just gave you an example.
So
It's
American capitalism makes
financially
your culture
it's
superior?
financial
Yes, because it
hold
was
on,
built off the
man.
backs of our
Hold on.
ancestors.
Let me
Can I
ask
That's
you a question. Let me ask you a
That
question.
doesn't make a
hold,
culture superior.
Hold on. Wildflower.
hold on, ma'am.
What country
Ma'am,
most people mostly
we're
got
not
to
saying
improve that?
we're
Hold on.
superior.
What culture most people
The
go to improve
African
their life?
man said that we
we're
said
all
that.
saying that we're superior.
I don't know.
We're
I'm getting lost. I
superior
don't know what
because
you're
we
saying.
do the
What
work.
country people
Too
go
much
to
time
for their
for
life?
this.
Rachel Dennis, did he
This
buy
is
a
not
Nigerian
an
magazine? Did he buy it was
This is
African
an
American
example
So
culture?
right
many
here.
people are talking. I don't even know what's being said. Like I
Yeah,
can't follow.
tell the truth. Tell them you want them to be quiet because they can't give no example. I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay, you give the example, Vovo, because
Yeah,
you're the
you
one who said it, right?
put me on the big screen, Donis. It's really something. You should put me on the big. I'm gonna give you an example. Here's the
Yeah, give the
example.
example of the superior culture. I'd like to hear about it.
This African culture, right here. Is it not? Is this not a common footwear in Africa
What?
and in the Caribbean? Do you see this? Look at it right
Wait,
here.
wait, wait, wait. Are you saying no? I just want to make sure we have the same conversation. You said Black American culture is superior, and I asked you, could you give examples of that superiority?
Example right here. If you're
A
walking
sandal and a shoe?
planet Earth, if you're walking around on planet Earth,
Yeah, because like I said, up until 100 years ago, a lot of our brothers and sisters in
there's
Africa didn't
things
have
that
shoes.
is cold. There's things that are hot. There's things that are sharp. There's things that are rough. You might gotta kick
There
something.
are cultures that wore sandals, and there are cultures that were barefoot. I don't understand what you're trying to get at.
Which one would you rather
Okay,
have on your
man.
foot? This is the
Can,
superior weapon to
We're
walk
just
around.
Africa and America. That's it. We was locked out
I,
of the
I don't
financial
get it.
system for
You
centuries.
do get it. No, you do get it.
No, I don't get what you're trying to say. You said a shoe. I mean, there are African
That's one
tribes who
example.
had
One
shoes as sandals as part of their attire. I don't know what you're trying to say.
the reason why the world wears a Nike is because of Michael Jordan.
Do black people own a Nike? Come on, Volvo.
Because of Kobe Bryant.
That's not culture. Do you know the word what that word means?
This is the standard shoe, and not just in Africa, in the Caribbean, in Asia,
So
and
because of your ability to market white people products, that's not what I was expecting you to hear.
this is that what you shaming tactics don't work. You don't wear it because
But,
it's
I,
white.
but that no, that a shoe is not culture. Nike that is produced by Europeans is not black. Is that black culture? Am I
It's
confused?
Asians. If you want to get technical, they working on
And that's
sweatshops.
black culture. Is anybody else agreeing with this, or am I lost?
The reason why people want to
no,
wear
okay,
it
man.
is
What he's
because
trying
of
to
Black
explain
Americans.
is
This is the
Okay, so
superior
please hear
shoe,
what he's trying to explain because I'm not getting it.
footwear from
okay.
planet
When you
right
say Black
here. This is
American
superior
culture,
footwear.
and like,
It's
He's
I
not.
still
could use
talking. So everybody's
I
still talking. He's still talking.
hold on one second.
Just,
Let me help you.
yeah, you get. That's just one example.
I'm gonna use his example,
Nobody
right?
can
Okay.
articulate that
All right.
like
Let me.
Boomerang.
It
Period.
Black American
Nobody can
culture and
articulate
Oh
shoes,
my God,
right?
the man is still talking.
J-
like that.
just listen.
Okay.
How many actual Black Americans are on here? Like your grandmother was born here, your great grandmother. How many? More than one? I know Volvo should be
Me
one.
as a person, or are you talking to the panel?
Yeah, the panel as a whole.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Okay. Now I can say I'm about to say this word. This is a company, and everybody of Black American culture would know what I'm talking about. All right. It's a word. It's a name brand. It's called Stacy Adams. Do you know what that
Hmm.
is?
I'm familiar with the shoe. Yes.
Okay. Now, do you understand that that's Black American culture?
Is it owned by black people,
No, 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 no,
or
no,
is
no,
it
no.
worn by black people?
No, no. Stacy Adams, yes, goes
Yes,
back
the
hundreds
company.
of years. Owned by
Okay.
Black people. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's good. I didn't know that.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the
Now,
thing.
what
We
you got
ain't.
to understand is all of American culture
Uh
as
huh.
a whole has been usurped by the white man. Period.
Right. Okay.
The world, brother. Y'all
Okay,
can't
so
articulate.
now,
That's what you're
if you can
Can you finish
understand,
his point so I can
as
understand what he's saying?
long as long as the white man has cultureism over America, the word, the brand, now
Uh-huh.
they can usurp and tell the world who has it or who doesn't. Because the world only looks at who owns it and not where it comes from. And not the, therefore they don't look for the people that it comes from. See, because no one today
Hey,
can
I
tell you
got, I
who an
got it. I got.
American is.
Dennis, I have to interject. I have to interject.
Please, somebody do it.
Stacey Adams is a white guy.
Right,
Excuse
right,
me, I'm
man.
sorry
That's
to
what I
tell
be
you.
saying, man. These
Excuse
people,
me,
man, damn,
sir.
like,
Sir,
brother,
prove
yeah,
it.
brother, your urge to speak, you gotta do the research because that's why
No,
y'all don't
sir.
put y'all face, man.
Sir.
Stacey
Sir.
Adams is a
Stacey
white
Adams
guy.
going by a white guy.
Hold on.
Those
Yeah, he's going
Okay,
by a white
prove
that
it.
company,
drug
man.
dealer just
Can
used
you
to wear
prove
his
it?
suits and his
It's
shoes.
owned
That's
now.
all.
Sir, the name
All right, man,
Stacey
we get you.
Adams is owned now by a white company. Yes, you're right.
It's
No,
But
always
but
not
been,
it
always.
was founded. It was
No, it
founded
always
by
hasn't.
white
Stacey
people.
No, it
Adams is a
wasn't.
white man.
It's
Man,
a
oh my
white
God,
man. Wait,
Okay, so you don't know the
I'm
history.
reading the history right
You
now. I'm
you
looking at it.
don't know the history of leather shoes.
I do know. Listen, man, this
Because
guy,
okay, so now so you do understand that Stacey Adams, the shoe company, was owned by a partnership. It was two families, the Stacey family and the Adams family. You didn't know that, did you?
And they're both whites.
No, they're not.
Oh my
I
God.
know
Okay.
Sears and
Oh
Roebuck.
Jesus.
Roebuck was a black man, and he
here's
See,
the
created
this is what you're
okay.
not
Roebuck.
knowing. You
A little
assume
Black
these
American
things.
history fact,
Here's
right?
why it's gonna take us
Hold on.
years to
Sales
clean this
You
shit up.
catalog
assumed a
back in
lot
the
of
days.
things.
These bad faith Christians
Hold on. Do
keep
people
asking,
know that it was
and it just
African
create a
Americans
whole
created
nother thing, man.
the
Just
sales
go on.
catalog? You know
And
why?
these
So we
guys
could
just
shop in white
Did you
people's
even know
stores.
that it was Americans who actually invented the shoe
So
and the shoe
invented
All over
manufacturing
the place,
company?
the
man. We're talking about
leather
Stacey
or
Adams.
walking y'all into a
the
trap.
company?
We're
Because
talking about Stacey Adams, man.
Take
okay,
years.
all right, Stacey Adams was actually
It ain't
founded
about
in a
if Stacey
segregated
Adams owned it.
time.
It ain't about
Huh?
if Stacey Adams owned it. It ain't about if a white man owned it or not. That's her deflection. A white man own it. Black
I'm
people
not
don't
I'm
own
not
Okay. Any
deflecting. I mean,
Black
that's a
people don't
legitimate
own
question.
Jamaica. Black people don't own Jamaica. That's why you
How,
over here. Because black people don't own Jamaica.
How is Essence going
Yeah,
to
black people don't
bounce
own
back?
Jamaica.
How is Essence going to bounce back? Because this could be something as simple
Yeah,
as the
Well, hold
kids
up. Yo,
the
look,
kids
let
want to
me
stay
say this.
home
Hey, Kindness, can
and
I
yeah,
use
I
the
answer
want to
that?
hear
internet.
that
in
real shit.
in
Hey,
order
can
for
I answer that?
Essence to
Can I
bounce
answer
back,
that?
it would
Black
have
people
to
don't
go
own
back to the New Orleans
Jamaica.
Jazz
Can I answer that?
Festival.
Can I answer that, Dice? Here's the thing.
Yeah, you got. Let me read these super chats. Peter John, thank you for the $10 holla. $10 holla. Peter John, FBA doctor is not healthy for African Americans. It is a poison pill on the international stage.
I agree.
DJ AK Sandman, thank you for 999 holla. Rose Lewis, Jet Magazine Beauty of the Week, August 14th, 1975. Baddest baddie of all time. Let me pass it to Aries. Go ahead, Aries. Let me mute yourself,
Can I
Aries.
answer that super
No,
chat?
we got to move on, bro. It was founded by two white folks. Go
But
ahead,
no,
Aries.
I'm talking about the super chat. But go ahead.
Go ahead,
If you
Aries.
say so.
Yeah, I just wanted
Jesus
to
Christ.
say,
Now it's trying to, he didn't even know it was a separate company. But now it's trying
Okay.
to
All
act
right.
All
like it was.
right. Go
So
ahead,
Boy, I
Aries.
Kindness
tell
said
you,
he passed the
boy.
mic. He's passed the mic.
Yeah, it's over. Go ahead, Aries.
hey, yeah, so I just wanted to chime in. Yeah, I do recognize that, that Black people in America have throughout time, basically,
Black people are
held
the
their own.
Americans.
You said what?
Black people are the Americans.
All right, whatever. But yeah, basically, I'm saying is that like Black people in America have held their own up to this point. They do deserve some credit for some of the things that they
All right, so
endured and
why
went
would you
through.
disrespect me and by saying what you just
Hey
said?
yo, Derek, don't interrupt, please. I'm trying to hear him. Go ahead, Aries.
But yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, basically they held their own. They, up to this point, and not just them in America, but also Black people all over the world. The reason where some of us are able to go to other countries where predominantly is Black, like for example Brazil, and get to enjoy that country for what it is because the Black people there also stood 10 toes and also did the things they needed to do to maintain their society. And I feel like trying to get one group of Black people and try to put them above everybody is also very a dismissive tactic that's gonna like lead to all this back and forth when it's like it doesn't matter where Black people are in this world, wherever they are, they're always gonna persevere, they're always
What's
gonna
black
do
people?
huh.
What's black people? Here come
Man, look, Aries, go ahead and finish. Don't interrupt him. Go ahead, Aries.
Yeah, right. Yeah, don't interrupt them. Right. Yeah, don't interrupt them.
I just gave you an example. Black people in Brazil, those people who came through the
What's black people? Nobody can ever explain that.
Right.
All
What
right,
the fuck
fine.
is that?
Okay.
We're
Let's just say
American.
melanated Negroes. Okay, will that help you? Is that easier?
No, that ain't
No, say American.
Your black sub-Saharan African ass is black.
So sub-Saharan Africans is black now.
Yeah, you're black.
Say American.
When you say sub-Saharan, that means
But to my point,
below Africa, where your ancestors came from.
Let me just land real quick. But black people have, no matter where they are in parts of the world, have contributed to society in the way that we see things till today. I believe even like, for example, I don't know if they said that there's the CAT scan was invented by a black dude in South Africa or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just giving you an example. Like now, there's not only one group of black people who are able to invent things. People invent things all the time, even till today. Even black people
What
invent
have
things
the
today.
Nigerians invented?
Like what?
What have they invented?
You heard
I'm
exactly.
Nigerians
I'm not Nigerian,
invented
so I can't
pussy. All
answer
right,
that.
that's all that matters. All right.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not Nigerian, so I'm not gonna put myself in that
Look,
position. But I'm just giving a global perspective. That's
Nigeria
all.
ain't even old as my
at
mama.
y'all. Look at y'all. Messing
And I
y'all
land.
easy to handle. Y'all extremely easy to handle. Y'all don't even know what black is. Y'all talking about black. Y'all black and all this type of shit. In a melanated Negroes. Is that good enough for you? No.
What
We finish asking that guy's question.
how can you not understand what melanated Negro means? What is that? How to
Black started in
What's a
America.
melanated Negro?
what's a Negro?
Melanated Negro. What's a melanated?
Okay,
An American?
what's a Negro? What's
American.
what's a Negro?
An American.
I'm a
It's on our
Negro.
birth certificate.
Right? You looking at a Negro right here.
What's
It's on our birth certificate.
where does the word Negro come from? Does it not come from the word Negroid?
You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about none of that weird shit.
Does the word Negro does it not come from the word Negroid?
Negroes in sub-Saharan Africa. Sub means below.
We're using English, brother. We're using English. We're using English. Correct?
I know. Yeah, right. Yeah.
If you understand English, how could you understand where words derived from? Words derive from certain meanings. If I say the word Negro, I'm definitely alluding to the people of Negroid descent. What do you mean?
What's Negroid descent?
Okay, since we're using English, right? Can we at least agree that there's at least 3 races of people on this earth?
No.
Just can we not? Is there not a Caucasian? Do Caucasians not exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. No, let's start right there. Who encompass the Caucasian?
Who encompasses?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want me to go to little
fast, I know you're gonna try to drag it out because you want to get lost in it. Yeah,
I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna say the reason they say where the word derives from is the Caucasus Mountains, the Caucasian people where they inhabit.
That ain't what I asked you. Who encompass the Caucasians today, 2025?
Europeans.
Who are these Europeans?
All the people all over the world.
European big. You're big. You're a big continent.
Okay, European descendants. Would that help you?
Okay. All right. Who are these people?
Let's say the Anglo-Saxons.
Are the North Africans Europeans? Arabs, the North Africans in Morocco, are they Europeans?
They're mixed.
Are they Caucasian?
They're mixed. Yes.
South Africans.
So
yes,
that defeats
South Africans
your original easy point. You said there's only 3 groups of people. You one of those.
I said races, not people. Races, correct?
No, it's all types of races on this planet. When you say it's 3, you one of those people that is 3 skulls. It's Negroid, Caucasoid, and then you one of those, ain't you?
It's not something that I'm one of. It's just facts. It's like this is scientifically proven. I'm not trying to like you.
Can a Caucasian be African?
I can easily tell what y'all is.
This is just scientific research that's done already. What are you talking about? I'm not bringing something out of nowhere. It's not like something that I made up. It's like literally in a scientific journal, you can literally read about genetics and how people evolve and how people move to certain places because of climate, because of Pangea, because of this, because of that. What do you mean?
Can a Caucasian
this is not
be
something.
African?
I think what he wants to know is what makes somebody a Caucasian.
Or yeah, right.
Okay, yeah. Okay, for example, right? Okay, if you want to, what makes somebody a Caucasian? A Caucasian
got white skin.
Yeah, they have certain identifiers, right? They're white
Like,
skin for one, okay? They have
Are
the bone
Caucasian?
structure. Hold on. The bone structure as well is different. Their bones are not
what do you
as
mean?
are you familiar with anthropology?
Yeah, because the thing is, you're gonna get lost in genetics because every
Okay.
haplogroup on planet Earth
Okay.
exists within black populations in Africa. So when you
Yeah.
say they have a bone structure, we have people in
Just
East
talking.
Africa that have thinner features than any Europeans. So what is it? What can you define what makes a Caucasian,
Is that
please?
what you tell white people in France where you live
Okay.
at?
What was that? Uh. Okay. Who am I answering?
The young
Okay.
lady.
Oh, I
Okay.
wanted you to answer the question.
Yeah. Who you said who encompasses the
What
European, correct?
constitutes what makes somebody a Caucasian? Because there's people
Like.
around the world that have that kind of skin color, that pinkish skin color. So define what really makes somebody called a Caucasian, because Caucasians exist within
Hold on. When you look at Donald Trump,
Caucasians come from Georgia, a country that's near Russia,
When you look
and
at
these people who are called Europeans took other people's identity to call themselves
Yes.
Caucasians. So can you please identify what makes somebody a Caucasian or what
white
makes somebody a
hair,
European that makes them different from Africans?
they have straight
Thank
hair. Africans have nappy hair like yours.
Africans also have straight hair. I am
No,
from East Africa. I
they
know my
don't.
people. So you
No, they
need
thank
to
you,
really be
Willflower.
clear
They
on
do
what
not.
makes somebody a Caucasian.
They got straight hair when they
That
pay
was a
for it.
rabbit hole I didn't want to go down to. You're talking about the Circassian people, where you have
Oh, no, this
he
lady's
was
crazy,
some
man.
sort of author
This lady's crazy.
from Western Europe who thought that they were the most beautiful people that he'd ever seen, and then he took
Oh,
on the name and said Western Europeans must be from the Caucasus.
you got
But
yo.
I
Yeah,
wasn't going to go down there.
that's
But
how
yeah,
it started.
yeah.
He just
So they
looked at
co-opted another tribe.
some
Yeah.
skeleton, and then he assumed that his people must also originate from there. But Caucasians in Russia suffer a lot of discrimination. So why did these other Europeans adopt other people's identity? Come on.
Oh, that's what this is
because
Negro.
they barely had a identity to begin with.
Negro Pan Babble.
So this is why you need to clarify when you say there's these many races, how are they different? Do they have a specific haplogroup that cannot be found within black populations within Africa?
Well,
Haplogroup.
okay. If we're gonna go into genetics, of course, it's gonna get very, 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 very complicated because, of course, black people can make white people. Two black people can have an albino baby, and that albino baby can also marry another albino baby, and then keep on going to create white people. That's how usually they come about.
I'm talking
But
about when you say people are different from each other, you are saying that there's different species that everybody's different. What I want you to
yes, yes.
clarify is do
Well,
these Europeans
Let me ask you a
the
question.
Eu-
Are you
the
married? Are you
Europeans, and you gotta listen to me because I'm trying to help you. The
I got
Europeans
you.
have haplogroup RB1. The RB1 haplogroup that exists within European males came from Chad. That's where it originates from.
any
You
chance?
check
Are you
any
married?
European male, their haplogroup is R1B1. Yeah.
Can I say,
Europeans do not have haplogroups that cannot be found that cannot be found in black men in
Which is
Africa. So you need to clarify how are they different from us?
Yo,
can I
Uncle
say
Hoffa, let me ask you a question. Are you married outside your race?
oh my God, it doesn't matter if she married, bro. You want some weird shit?
I'm
just saying.
Listen,
I'm
listen.
trying to get you to clarify what
I can
makes
say,
people
I can say
different.
this.
okay.
Because you're
Let
on
me say
here,
this.
Bobo
Let me
was
say this,
asking you
right?
a question about what makes Caucasian.
Let me say this. Y'all don't know. That's why you got to go into haplogroups and this and that and this. It's no simple answer. Y'all don't know.
What
Y'all
is it's what?
don't know.
How is
Nobody
it?
knows.
If the
Nobody knows.
information is there, what are you talking about?
The original. No, that ain't the information. If the
Oh my.
information was there, you would be able to articulate it and lay it out flat. It's always going to go into this weird. That's why I did like this when y'all. If you rewind it about 5 minutes, I did like this because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all it's just a bunch of jumbled nonsense.
Well, first of all,
I
when
asked
it
you,
in
my
this, in
original
this
question is what's black, and you said and you couldn't tell me. You
because
can't answer
well,
it simply.
okay, for example, right? When we're talking, can I just asked you, do we both speak English? You said yes, right? We speak English. We're using American English. We're using words that we can relate to identify certain things. I'm not trying to like bring this out of like a riddle or something like that. I would assume based on this panel, what the conversation we're talking about, you
Black.
would associate certain words with the topic, huh?
What's black? What's anybody? Somebody, Donis, you run the space. Anybody? Somebody tell me what is black, please.
Nah,
What's black?
we're moving on from that, Vo. We're moving on from that. Go ahead, caller.
Every stage I go on,
With
Howard,
black. I mean, come on, man. We're moving on from that.
right.
Go ahead, caller.
My time.
We're trying to go in circles for like no reason. It's just so simple. Just associate certain
Yeah, go
words
ahead.
with words we're using.
Go ahead, caller.
Please, someone asked a question that what's going to, in reference to what the topic was about, what's the future of Essence Magazine, blah, 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 blah. Well, first of all, you got to look at what's the future of Black America, right? Essence Magazine moved in a direction 2 decades ago, right? Now they're the magazine of the Democratic Party. They're the magazine of Stacey Abrams. They're the magazine of the LGBTQ, race mixing, illegal aliens, all these ills that basically plague Black America that we didn't support a generation or two ago. So what does it really matter who's in charge of it, right? Does it really matter who's in charge of it? That's the way the magazine is going. So it doesn't matter if we're not losing anything because the magazine was lost a long time ago because it's lost its way. Like a lot of Black institutions are losing their way. Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine, they don't speak to Black America anymore. People get in there, that's what they do with Black America. They think we're stupid. They get in there, and Black people are not stupid. They know when something's been co-opted, or they know when somebody, like, for example, we had all these Black scholars back in the 90s, 2000. Then out of nowhere, they sprung this man called Michael Eric Dyson on us. It just came out of nowhere. Then we start realizing that people have taken over our institutions. They've taken, they could use CNN or whoever like that, even something like Revolt TV. Who the fuck is? That's not us. That's somebody putting out. So between everything, they're gonna make sure 45 million people do not have any sort of real voice or anything like that. So I don't think Essence Magazine is the worst thing that can happen because that's a trend of Black America right now. We have no real voice. The only thing we really have is social media. That's about it.
Could I say this? I gotta get on. I gotta work.
Do any of you actually know the original name for Essence Fest?
I just want to talk to Donis real fast. Donis, you made it. You said that that Jollof come from Jollof. Would you say jambalaya come from Jollof? Now I asked you, right? I watched videos of
Jambalaya
you.
don't come from Jollof.
You ate some peanut butter type of rice. What the fuck is you doing, Donis? You said you was African. You have Nigerian, but I don't know. But I'm guessing you grew up in Black America. No,
That's like mashed potatoes with gravy. It's no difference.
What are you talking about, bro? That's why I gotta get off here.
Because it's the same color.
Same. You trolling.
What?
Anyway, Donis. Now tell me where in Africa that I can look up on this Google, on this information that we got right now. We got phones, we got smartphones. We can go.
Talking about my wife's food, man.
Donis, where can I look up where they cook this jollof? This jollof or any type of African rice the same way as jambalaya.
The base of jambalaya rice is jollof rice.
The base of all rice is rice. So what do you mean?
I said, but it's specific. It's jollof rice.
What's jollof rice? What's jollof rice and tomato?
Real rice that the Gullah Geechee make comes from Africa also. It's related to Jollof too.
It's jollof rice. The base is jollof rice.
Mexicans make rice like that. What's your point though? That's what I was getting to. That's what
North Carolinians make red rice.
But what's your point though? What's your point?
The point I'm trying to make that the origins of jambalaya comes from jollof rice.
It's just tomato sauce and rice, huh? What?
Prove it.
I just did.
Jambalaya. I'm from
jambalaya.
My grandmama made jambalaya from scratch.
Eat both.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is the recipe, the base of it comes from Africa.
When you
Very
say the
simple. Your
base,
grandma's black.
rice comes from Africa,
What is
right?
the basis of jambalaya? Please tell me. What is the
So many
basis of
weirdos up here,
jambalaya?
man. You got so many weirdos that don't just got the earth to speak. That don't even know. Hey, they ain't.
Bro. Have you been to Louisiana? Have you been to New Orleans?
I'm
Yes.
from New Orleans.
Yeah. So
I
if
was
you know
born
that,
there.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Don't you know that?
Adonis, appreciate your name.
Don't you know that a lot of the if you walking around Canal Street, if you're walking around some of the iconic areas in New Orleans, don't you see some of their African influence? They have their voodoo, what do you call those religions? Those Orisha religions and all those.
There's Congo Square.
They have Congo Square. They have even the food, yeah, some of the food is definitely like African influence because it's like they don't eat the same thing as white people do. The white people eat their food, it's not the other way around. Most of the
What?
foods that you see in Canal Street are usually from black people, like the gumbo, all this and stuff. Black people invented those over there. That they bought their own dishes and then they started intermingling with the other people there, and then that's what it's popular for. Actually, New Orleans is like everybody knows people go to New Orleans for some of the best black people food on earth. Like, what do you mean?
Okay, do you know what the biggest holiday in New Orleans is?
Well,
is it an African holiday or is it an American Indian holiday?
Are you talking about the carnival? Or what are you talking? What that are you like?
No, I'm asking you. Do you know what the biggest holiday is in New Orleans? Is it an African holiday or is it an American Indian holiday?
I don't know American Indian holiday, so I can't say that.
All right.
It's an American Indian holiday where they dress up like Indians with the hats and the feathers.
Elvis, you're on your Getro, man. I can't even hear you, bro. Go ahead. Well, Derek, what's the biggest holiday?
The biggest holiday in New Orleans is Mardi Gras Day. And that's the day the Indians come out. It's not an African holiday.
Are you trying to say the holiday?
None of the meals that I've eaten ever in New Orleans from my grandmother is considered African. It's considered soul food. Soul food is American food.
Correct.
Right?
Nobody's disagreeing with that.
If soul food is American food, who are the Americans?
Well, if you're gonna say they're American foods, the location that the food that's in that area they use to make their food, right? Like, we're not saying that like niggas went to Africa and got some rice and spices and brought it back and then started making jambalaya rice. We're just saying that the original people that were there.
The basis of jambalaya is from Jollof rice.
Correct.
No, hold on. Let's just say West African rice. Let's just say that.
Okay, so what exactly is West African rice?
It's spicy rice, bro. They like spice with their rice, bro. Jambalaya is just basically.
It's a rice that has vegetables, meat, tomato paste,
and spices. And people, West African, mostly they like their rice a little bit spicy. Like jambalaya is spicy. If it's not spicy, it's not really good, bro. Everybody knows that. I'm not even from New Orleans, but I've been there many times.
Now, do you know that? The original recipe for jambalaya has no tomato paste, right?
I said spices, bro. I said West African rice.
Understand it.
Yeah,
so the basis
spicy
of Jollof
foods. They like spicy
food.
food. They like spicy food.
No, some people use tomato paste for their jambalaya or tomatoes.
That's the white version, sir.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. It has to be spicy for you to enjoy it. Everybody knows that. It doesn't. The main actual ingredient that makes it what it is the fact that it's spicy. It's not because it's just plain rice with some sausage and like a little bit of pieces of shrimp.
So obviously you know nothing about jambalaya because jambalaya is not made to be spicy. It's just made to be good.
Well, it depends who makes the jambalaya.
Whoa.
I've had spicy jambalaya. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I had jambalaya many times. What do you mean? In New Orleans with people in their house. Like they like. What do you mean? What? You probably haven't had good. Maybe you have the Native American jambalaya rice, but not. The
majority of jambalaya rice is gonna have.
That's the 17th.
That I've had tomato paste in it. Has a tomato base with rice.
Okay, all right. No problem. And I don't know if all of you guys are from New Orleans, but I am. My grandmother was born there. Her mom was born there.
Tomato
My
based is
grandfather was
So
born
what?
the Creole version.
Just because you're
Without
born
the
in New Orleans,
tomatoes, the
your
Cajun
grandma
version.
automatically
Stop
know
with
how
the
to make
lies.
jambalaya rice. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm telling you, my grandmother made jambalaya
Was she a good
several
cook?
times.
Was she a good cook?
Excellent. My
Because obviously it
grandmother
doesn't
could
sound
cook
so
And
good to me
and
right
and
now. You're
and
talking
and,
about
and, 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 and Derek, you say Mardi Gras is about the Indians.
Yes, sir.
It's a French holiday.
Sir, have you ever been to Mardi Gras?
You do understand that New Orleans
Have
and
you ever been
Louisiana.
to Mardi
Hold
Gras?
on, you do realize that
Yeah,
New Orleans was at one time a French colony. That whole area,
I do know that.
Louisiana.
It was,
Yeah,
sir, have you ever been to Mardi Gras? Yes.
I've,
Have you ever been?
okay.
I,
Have
I've
you ever been?
but
No.
they bring
So
those costumes
Okay.
out.
okay.
How about this, Dinus? Have you been to their big ass restaurant over there? It's called the Cafe du Monde.
I
Cafe
have
du
not.
Monde. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not been to
Basically,
that restaurant though.
okay. If you look at
Yeah.
it, even if you look it up right now, I think it's called they call it beignet, whatever, something like that.
A
I don't know how to
beignet
pronounce
is
it.
a French donut. Yes.
If you go to
Right.
West Africa, you'll see those pastries everywhere, and people
It's
refer to
called,
it
it's
by
called, it's
different
called,
names.
it's called, it's called, it's called, it's similar to Puff Puff.
Yeah, that's literally like that's what I'm saying. Like, but of
Yeah, I
course,
mean,
like
yeah.
it's just it's like you're like it's like they're trying to say like the influence is not there somewhere somehow. Like it's not just
Okay. So
I don't associate
what's
it
the
to
difference?
French people.
What's the difference between a beignet and a donut?
What's the difference? I guess you could say the shape.
Doesn't have a hole in it.
It's the shape. It's the same thing, but one is square, one is round. But now you're not saying that the beignet is attached to America.
I mean, literally, Mardi
Whoa, whoa,
Gras
whoa,
is
whoa,
a
whoa.
literally Mardi Gras is a French name. So I mean, it's
Literally, sir, if you go to Mardi Gras, you will find out that the black culture there is there for the Indians. That's the day the Indians come out. Look it up,
Okay,
or go ask
okay. What
somebody
about the
from
yeah,
New
Zulu
yeah. I mean,
parade?
Orleans.
What about the
black.
what about the Zulu parade? Where does that come in? Where does the Zulu parade come in?
Where does the Zulu parade come in? The
Yeah.
Zulu parade is just as old as Mardi Gras.
Okay, so are we arguing the same thing that are you trying to like say that the Africans weren't there or something like that? Like, what's the difference? What's the difference if the Indians came out or if the Africans came out and had their own holidays as well? What are you trying to make? What's the point?
No, Zulu parade is just that, a parade.
Do you know what the reason
But
for the parade is? Do you know
the
what the reason for the
holiday
parade is?
itself for the black people in New Orleans is based on the Indians who come out that day. Period. So if you've never been and you're not from, you would think that it was something else. But when you go there and see for yourself, oh, it's two different things.
Do you know why the black people dress up as the Indians?
Yeah, you
Why?
can obviously tell.
Why?
Because they're
Um, it would be a
Indian.
part of their heritage.
So you're saying the black people were the Indians?
It would okay. Well, how do they come up with these costumes? And they actually make these things themselves.
No. So do you understand like the history of Louisiana after the French sold the rights to the United States of America and how that affected black people?
Buffalo Soldiers.
No,
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
a lot of the black people went and hid with the Indians because the Indians gave them refuge. So that's why they dress up as Indians during Mardi Gras.
Okay, so you tell me what Indians do the same thing? Because the Indian costumes that they wear on Mardi Gras are unique to the
Well,
world.
yeah, because you know, Negroes we extra. Of course, they're unique.
No,
We extra. I mean, the same way
Yeah,
I
hold on.
mean,
They're honoring
come on,
those
Derek.
Indians.
You know how we are,
That's
man.
why they dress up in
We
their
extra,
costume.
Derek.
I
Of
can
course
show
they're gonna
you.
be unique. It's black
I
folks.
can
We
show
extra. I
you
mean, come
where
on.
these. Okay, but now can you go back and look at the Mayan temples and look at their costumes?
Yeah,
They match.
No, they don't.
No,
No,
they
they
actually
don't.
match.
Oh my god.
From
So
headdresses
are you
to
saying
the feathers to the sewing
everything matches.
Hey, Dias, man,
So
get this
if
ignorant
they're
fool
paying
off the show.
homage to somebody,
Dias,
it would be the
don't let him
Mayan
bring your
Indians.
show down. This fool thinks he's Native Indian. Man, get him out of here. You know, get him out.
So are you
Well,
saying,
you
are you
think you're
Mayan now,
African?
Derek? Are you Mayan?
Who, me? No, I'm
Yeah.
American.
So you're saying the reason why there's a connection between the black folks in Mardi Gras dressed up as Indians and the Mayans?
No, I'm asking you to explain that.
No,
You're
what
telling
I'm
me that.
telling you
No,
is
no,
because
no.
black
I
folks, we're
okay.
big and bold and we're extra. So of course we're gonna
Well,
go
okay. So,
over the
and I will
top when it
tell
comes
you,
to the
if
costumes.
you
That's
look
why.
back, okay, if you look back and go to the Mayans, you will see the same big, bold implication. Correct?
So you're saying the Mayans are
Look at
walking
their
around in
costumes.
100-pound
Dias, man,
costumes, walking
why you have
around.
this, Dias, why
Oh
do you have
man,
this
come on,
ignorant
man.
fool up on your show? God, man, everyone's having an intelligent conversation to this, man. You know.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
where are you
man,
from, sir?
you're ignoramus, man.
Where are you from?
You're not Native American, bro. You're from
I never
Africa.
said I was.
Okay,
Black
so why
people
you
Native
arguing about
American,
Native
bro?
Americans in
Simple yes or
Africa,
no
man?
answer.
No, sir.
Elvis, can you call in on a different device, Elvis, or take it off your speakerphone? Because you're go ahead.
I
Derek.
never claimed to be Native American.
And
Ever
no
once.
black people are Native Americans. We're not indigenous to America. We're not Native Americans whatsoever. We have nothing in
Okay,
common. We have more in
that
common with white people than we do with
that
Native
would be an
Americans.
issue amongst your family,
I say, no,
right?
amongst my family, nothing. You know, ain't no damn Native Americans in my family. You know, nothing.
So you're saying that we only came here by the boat
I
of the
only
white
came.
man.
My ancestors come from Africa,
Your
and I got
ancestors. So
a
your
small.
family.
I'm telling you, my ancestors came from. You know,
Your family. Yes.
I have no Native American ancestry.
Okay, that's fine. That's you.
So like I said, and my ancestors been here since the 1600s. You know, so how do we
So
never have
now
no
if
Native
you
American?
okay, so now if your ancestors, so that means you
Yeah,
can
my
tell me
ancestors,
your
where I come
hold
from,
on,
are
sir.
not Native
Sir,
American. I have no Native
that's
American
fine
blood in
for
me.
you. I never said that I was.
So what are we arguing in?
Never once. Because I know there's a difference between a Native American and an American Indian.
Oh my Lord!
Oh Lord, man! No, Lord, Dice, get him out of here.
Really?
Get him the hell out of here, bro. Get him out of here, man.
Oh,
Dice,
really?
get
You
him
don't
out
think
of
there's
here,
a
so I got
difference? Hold up, sir. Hold
Get
on.
this fool, man. You know, nah, I'm
Now
sorry.
he's a fool. All right.
You're a
Sir,
goddamn
where are you
fool,
from?
man. Goddamn.
Where are you
You're
from?
not no Native American, bro. You're not American.
Okay,
You're not Native.
I never said I was.
You
I
just
said
said
I'm
you was.
American.
It was different. You're trying now. All it is, you're trying to get out of being Black African. That's all you're trying to get out. You're trying to get out. There's no escape.
No,
There's
there's
no escape.
there's
There's no
not.
escape. There's no getting out of this, bro. You know, you could talk
To
all you
you,
crazy people
but
could
you're
talk
from
all you want,
Africa.
whatnot. And the bottom line, I'm trying to put you back to the reality. You're Black African. Your ancestors were slaves. They're brought here against their will. Now deal with it.
Prove it.
Prove
You want me
it.
to
Look
give you
at
my
the damn
last
mirror,
name?
man. You got no. You got to prove
What?
that you're not. Well, the whole world knows the truth. If you say
The
you got some
whole
other
world
evidence, you got like this.
knows the
Your
truth?
ancestors. Look, I can tell by your voice. You're African. You're Black African.
I'm American.
No, you're not. You're a Black African who happens to be in
So
America.
who's American?
Oh, hold on. Okay, let
So
me.
who's American?
Guys, let me cook this dude right now. First of all,
Yeah, please
America.
cook me.
Hold up. America came from the man. America's best see. People who call themselves Americans are Europeans, the 13 original colonies, and people like Spanish colony. An American was a European who left Europe to go to America, which was called the New World, right? Voluntarily, they went and left with new land, and so they did. Your ancestors were brought here against their will. You're not an American.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Did you
So
say your ancestors came here voluntarily, or they came here on a slave ship?
Sir, you can't
If your
prove that
ancestors
my
came here on a
you
slave
can't
ship,
prove that
if
my
your
ancestors
came here on a slave
anywhere.
ship, technically you're not an American. You're a slave. You're a slave descendant. You know, an American is somebody who's white of European descent, right? They're settled here, right, in the 13 colonies, original colonies.
Call him a
Those are
slave.
all Americans. There was no way nobody. Matter of fact, in the early part of history, black people referred to white people by Americans. They call them Spaniards, Americans, and Indians, and all this stuff like this. We never consider ourselves Americans. You know, that's something new. You know, we were trying to be Americans after the country was developed. Said, "Oh, we want to be Americans now." Now you guys took it the whole new level and say you were always Americans. An American is a person of white European descent. That's what an American is. You know, everybody else is just a hyphenated American. That's the truth.
But you're from Africa.
Yeah. No, actually, I'm from America. I was born in this country, United States. But I know where my
Your mama wasn't born here. Your grandmama wasn't born here.
My mother was born in Harlem. You know, what are you talking about? My mother was born in Harlem
You
Hospital.
are a migrant. So you saying your family didn't come here?
Tell this fool who
Are
I
you?
am.
Hold on. Stop, everybody. Are you saying your family did not come here?
Well, my family was here for 400 years. You know, my family's from.
No, I'm asking you a
my
direct
family's
question.
from Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and then lastly Harlem.
Okay, so the oldest member of your family is how old? Do you know?
You sound like you're older than me too. You sound like an old fool, bro. Go ahead.
Derek. What language do Americans speak? Since you're an American, what's their original language?
What is their original language?
Yeah, what language is a fake fool?
Yeah, what language do they speak? You're an American, right? What is the native language of the Americans?
What is the native language of America?
What's your language? What's your language?
So answer this question.
The dude's retarded.
No, because I'm about to just help you understand. So now, if Americans had a different language and all Europeans had to learn English in America, when did Negroes learn English?
What?
Yo, Diane Smith, this is not even funny anymore.
What are you talking about, bro? Bro, what?
Yo, this is these guys be on TikTok.
Language did not come to America.
These guys got following.
Your brain okay, bro?
Hey, you know what? At this point,
I ain't gonna lie, man. This is funny.
Hold on, Kofi. Hold on, Kofi. At this point, I am in full support of Richelieu Dennis and the Kenya lady completely taking over anything.
Yeah,
and
man, black people don't deserve anything, man.
Let them have the Essence Festival. Let them have it all. Golly, let them have it.
Nah, but but we were procreating with the beautiful Native American women.
How come none of you live in Africa
I'm
today?
in full support of Richelieu Dennis, the Kenya lady, owning and controlling.
And
Essence.
I'm in full support of you guys all going to Africa.
You Negroes, golly, you Negroes don't deserve it. Oh my Lord.
We still got earn your leisure. We still got
so why
earn
do you
your leisure,
guys
man.
speak on Africa so highly, but you don't live there?
I go there every year.
No, you don't live there. Why don't you live there?
Nigga, Africans can't live in Africa.
Okay, so God, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if
Derek,
Africa
go to
is
Africa, bro, man. We're taking you.
Who? I don't. I would go visit, but I don't want to live there. I'm
Yo, the world can't afford to live outside America. That's facts.
The world can't afford to live outside of America.
That's a fact. The world can't afford to live outside America. That's how shit seems. Everyone's coming here.
I'm just here on a permanent vacation.
I don't understand. If Africa's such a great place, why is Africans coming to America in a larger number than Americans are going to Africa?
We just on a vacation, bro. Damn, can a nigga vacation?
Okay, so you vacation in Africa, but you live in America. Why would you live in
do vacation in New Orleans, bro?
The same reason the same reason why the Europeans went to Africa and conquered that shit and brought us over to the Americas. We trying to conquer what they conquered. We trying to take back. We trying to take it back.
Okay, so when you go, you have to go there to take it back.
Yeah.
You have to live there.
Yes.
So none of you live there.
Of these countries don't leave.
My seeds are there, son. My seeds.
The people who are coming here are people of lower economic classes. The elites, like I'm from Jamaica, the elites don't leave Jamaica. They might visit the US, but they don't want to live in the US. They have a comfortable life where they are. It's the people
Because
who are on the lower totem pole of the economic strata who, because of the way the system is, there isn't the opportunities of upward mobility the way you have in the U.S. It's not a it's very regulated. It's not as there's much less regulation in the United States to be able to move up. In other parts of the world, it's almost like a caste system. So if you're at the bottom, the way to get out of the caste system is to leave, unfortunately. And those who are on top stay on top, and they don't leave. They'll vacation, but they don't leave. So there's hopefully
so
the answer
now,
to the question. So poor people are coming
no,
to
that does
America. The
because
elites are
the
not
people.
coming to America.
Okay, this is why Americans stay in America, because Americans know that there's a caste system here also.
Okay.
But see, when we're at the bottom, we just dig in and get our way to the top. Here.
Well, that sounds nice. I mean, it sounds like I don't know if that's necessarily accurate.
All I'm
Most
saying
people
is, I'm
who are
not
born
trying
in
to be.
poverty in the
I'm
U.S. I know you're not knocking, but I'm just trying to like bring some realism. Most people who are poor are in the U.S. are generationally poor. They're not necessarily moving out. Now there is opportunity to move up, but there's a number of factors like education and access and networking. But it's still easier here than it would be easier for many of us back home. You understand what I'm saying?
okay.
So
So now,
that
okay,
is a big reason
this
why
is what
people
and
might
I
be
understand that.
better off if
Now,
they left,
so
but
now,
Americans
okay,
are not really taught to think outside of the U.S. either. So,
but what I'm asking you is, realistically,
uh-huh.
with that mentality from a person from another country, right? Does that affect the people that are from this country? Because you're coming here for economic gain?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Okay,
Affected
so the
what?
people who live here, right? The
Uh-huh.
people that are from here would like to
Yes.
gain also. That's why they live here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's why their ancestors lived here and did the work that they did. So now when people come here from other countries
Mm-hmm.
because they're poor,
Right.
now does that help the poor people that are here? Or does it not help the poor people that are here?
Well, obviously, it would not help the poor people that are here because then they become
Okay.
competition
So
in the
now,
economic. Yeah.
let's say there was a racial group of people with some type of power to actually entice you to come here to do that to the people here. Do you think there
Well,
was ever an agenda to do that?
yeah, I'm sure white folk had that agenda, but
Okay,
people
so now
from all
if you
countries are not coming
know,
here
if
to
you can
undermine
understand
you.
that
People,
these people, see, because I never gave you a person or nothing. You said white people. So now you understand that white people are using people of color from different countries to not be racist, but be racist at the same time.
I understand that because
Because
of
the
my,
people from
my
other countries,
education.
because the people from other countries are helping the people from other countries as a whole, correct?
Yo,
And they're not
yo, let
helping the
me add
people
to
that
that
are here.
too.
So I understand that
They
because
come
of
here as diplomats. They
my
overthrow their
family
own
members.
governments and come here.
Many of my family members wouldn't understand that. Like my parents didn't come to America thinking I'm going to undermine Black Americans. They came here like looking for. Everybody came here to make money. They came here to improve situations back home so they can bring their children here, so they can pay for my brother's school fees, so he can go to a better school in Jamaica, so that he can have a better opportunity.
So they could take
Versus
out loans. They could have access to loans that
no, no, no.
through a business entity you don't have to pay back. Because
I don't know about
So,
that.
if,
the
We
US
didn't
doesn't
do
pay back
loans.
its
basically, in
loans.
other
Our
words,
people do
you
susu.
guys came
So
here
our
to
people from
benefit
America
from
do
what white
susu.
people are giving you, not black people.
They're taking advantage of the system that the CIA is afforded around the world. They take advantage
Right.
of the same
Okay,
system
I'm
that's
sorry.
here.
You said white people gave us. Could you repeat that, please?
You gain benefit from the white part of America, correct? Not the
I
black
don't
part.
know what's the white part of America. What do you mean by that?
The
Okay.
the
Just
IMF,
like you just said,
Work.
the monetary fund.
your mother came, let's break it down real simple. Your mother
Okay.
came here for economic gain for her family as an
Uh-huh.
individual, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when she got here,
Yes.
did she get a job?
Yes.
Where does she work at?
She was doing living work, and she was living with
Okay.
one of
Did
my
did
grandmas
she
who
do
had come
living
before
work
her.
for black people or white people?
She did living work for the people who could afford it. Mostly were white
I,
people.
Okay, so now the people who could afford living work for a person like your mother who's from another country, right? Are the same people who use my people for the same work 20 years before that.
I know that, but my mother didn't come to
Okay, so
America
now
doing.
the same white people who discriminated against these people, they use you to keep discriminating against these people.
Uh-huh.
And you
I
guys
understand.
don't understand that.
I understand that because of my education level, but many people in my community do not understand. They don't make those connections. They don't
So
see
you as
that.
an educated woman should be going
Uh-huh.
back to your country and other countries and telling them what is happening.
I do go. I
Period.
do to Jamaicans. I do talk to my people and tell them how American system operate. Yes, I do.
That
Okay,
I
so
have an
now
influence
we all
message.
know how the American system is
usually that
operating.
person gets assassinated. Unfortunately, usually that type of person who tries to build central banking systems, just like the U.S., they go back to their countries and they get into a political system. They nationalize on everything, then they get assassinated.
Yeah,
Usually
yeah.
Derek,
that's what
Certain,
Derek,
happens.
certain things
yo,
I can say here, I can't say back home. They knock my head off.
Derek,
Like, I'm being
Derek.
for real with you, and I would
Yes.
disappear. So it's a different environment.
Derek, I just want you to know that, I get your point. I get the point you're trying to make, okay? Yes, that's true that the white people here make a system that, kind of undermines the people that already were here. But do you also know that you just being here, you also have the opportunity to do the same thing. You can go to other people's countries and also undermine them, like, for your financial gain if you choose to as well. That's just how the world
That's
works.
not
People,
the American way.
yes, it is. What do you mean? There's American
No,
companies all over the
no,
world. What are you
excuse me,
talking
sir.
about?
Okay, first of all, there are your version of American way because you
Hold on,
guys
hold on,
look at
hold
the
on, hold on,
white
hold on.
people as American.
America is
And
America a
then I
business or
look at
not?
the American way as what it is.
Is America
The
is America a
American way,
I
business
agree
country
with
or
the
not?
him.
American way, the
I agree
American
with
way
him.
truly is do the work
Hold on.
yourself.
Is
No,
is is,
you're
Am- is,
correct.
is
That's
I
America
agree
not a
with
correct.
business
him.
country?
The way
That's
we're
correct. I'm
raised,
sorry.
we're more
The
going
American,
over to be with the locals. That's how we're raised. We're
right,
not
but
over there to exploit
right, but we
I
don't
get
come
it.
here
I
to
get it.
exploit anybody.
because
I
we
People
get
come
come
it.
from the
here to
bottom.
Okay. I'm not
the
saying you guys are
American
doing that.
way is exploitation. That's what capitalism is.
I
When
was
you're
just trying
at
to
the
make a point.
bottom of the economic system of capitalism, you're the ones who are exploited by Del Monte,
Exactly.
by Chiquita, by
Uh-huh.
Barrick Gold, by all these other companies that are
Exactly.
American companies that come to your country and do exploitation. And if you have leaders who don't go with it, they disappear. Right?
But yeah,
So that is the system. That's why you have Mexicans coming here because and Venezuelans because of the United States. They'll literally say, "Hey, we don't support the government. It's a government that was elected by the people, and they bring in people to usurp government and to create chaos. People don't want to live in chaos, so people leave."
Do you think the Mexicans
I
who
just
came here in the
Hey,
last
guy,
3 years came here
I
for
gotta pass the
economic
mic to,
gain?
I gotta pass the mic to T. Khalid. Then we gotta close out. Go ahead, T.
I think if we keep focusing on what white people are doing, FBA's, you're going to remain in poverty like that, man. Because if I was a white supremacist, and I'm being serious, and I've said this before, if I was a white supremacist and I knew that black people won't move unless I give them something, I'll just keep dangling a carrot on a stick and have you chase it forever and act like I'm gonna do something for you, but not because I know that you'll never do anything for yourself because you're too worried about what I'm doing and what I think about you and how I'm oppressing you. So I'm gonna keep that mantra going to keep you oppressed. So I think that mindset, that victim mindset is, in my opinion, killing the African American community. It is hampering them because I'm not for immigration like that. To be honest, if I have my way, I will close down all immigration until everyone is doing well, including African Americans. I don't care if you're from Africa, the Caribbean islands. You're not coming into this country until the natives do better. But the fact that Nigerians could come over here and Caribbeans could come over here and do exceedingly well economically, you cannot ignore that. Like, the people living here can do the exact same thing they're doing. But instead, we're still too busy fighting and worried about white people. And then we got to look at our voting habits. Who is voting in the people that's allowing all this unfettered immigration? Because it's one political party, it's the Democrat Party. Then you got to ask yourself, then why are the native black people continuing to vote for a party that's allowing all these immigrants in and then complaining about the outcome? So there's got to be some type of personal accountability. But I think what does pisses FBAs off about like immigrants, black immigrants, is like they'll come over here and they'll start world star hip hop and call it for the culture and put the worst
Yeah,
portions
man.
of black people. Like really, it is bad. Like the shade room,
Huh?
all these things are not ran by African Americans. These are ran by immigrant blacks. But you know, because they got a black face, it kind of makes it look like like it's ran by black people, and that is a problem. And I think immigrant blacks have got to stop doing that because it does alienate the FBAs from you. So there is two sides, but I do think FBAs really have to stop worrying about white people. Like we got to start building. Stop this mentality that if we build something, the white man is going to fly a bomber, the same bomber that blew up the Iran nuclear facilities, and they're going to nuke your business and then fly away. That's not happening anymore. Like there are too many rich millionaire African Americans for that to happen. So I think we got to move on. And yeah, I think black immigrants need to stop saying I'm black, I'm African American, and then exploiting the worst out of black people.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Haru. Peace.